It's a Big 12 battle for first place this weekend at Hoagland Ballpark in Lawrence as first place UCF pays a visit to second place Kansas. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Joined as always by former All-Big 12 standout Kevin Wheeler. I'm Brian Haney. The Kansas Jayhawks have been red hot at home, winners of 6 Big 12 contests, 2 series sweeps. They've won 13 of their last 15 overall, has Kansas. But here comes the first place UCF Knights team, Kevin. They're off to a 10-2 start. Just took 2 of 3 in Morgantown last week. 2 red-hot teams hooking up this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to see the top of the Big 12 this weekend. Jayhawks have been as hot as anyone in the country. UCF has had some tough series already in the Big 12 and already with 10 conference wins.
So impressive the job that Rich Wallace has done at his alma mater in his 3rd season now. They were picked 10th in the preseason league poll, and look at them now, 4 weekends into league play. Just goes to show you who knows anything back in the fall and winter months. You got to duke it out on the field, and what they've put forth on film has sure been impressive.
Yeah, it has. They play the game the right way. Great defense, great pitching, and they can really hit the ball and run. So it's going to be quite a matchup, 2 very hot teams.
Those sweeps were impressive over Oklahoma State, as you saw there, but the series wins over TCU and West Virginia even more so. Kansas, as I referenced, has been perfect here at home, and they've had some dramatic home wins. In the sweep versus Houston, they had go-ahead homers in the bottom of the 8th inning all 3 days. Last Thursday night versus Utah, 4 homers in the bottom of the 9th to win it in a walk-off. So the Hawks have been must-see baseball here at Hoagland Ballpark.
It's been outstanding here at Hoagland this year. Comeback wins, 17 of them already, and LeBlanc and the team have been really coming through clutch.
LeBlanc, and then obviously you've got Williamson on the other side, 2 players that won National Player of the Week from 2 different outlets. 2 teams as good as any in the Big 12. What more could you ask for? It's Big 12 baseball, UCF at Kansas, right here on ESPN+. Ballpark here in Lawrence. Thanks for joining us for Big 12 baseball on ESPN+. First place UCF versus second place Kansas. Let's take a peek inside the Knights dugout. There's Rich Wallace, former UCF standout as a player back in the early 2000s, now in his 3rd season leading his alma mater. And a look at his lineup card with Gaskin at the top, John Smith hitting .393 in that 3-hole, and obviously Williamson, the National Player of the Week according to Perfect Game. Matisse Nayrall will be on the mound for Kansas. Coach Fitz talked about Matisse pitching like an ace all year, about to get the Friday night nod.
Yeah, Matisse has been great, and think you hit the nail on the head that he's just, he's pitched like an ace, and so to give him the ball in game one of a series is a big deal. So yeah, he's got great stuff. He's really good to both sides of the plate, and the stuff's elite. And again, another guy that just loves competing for his team.
The import from France has a 4-1 record, an ERA of 4.73, and they just keep putting more and more on his plate, and he keeps delivering. He'll pitch today. Dominic Vegley gets game 2, and the game 3 starter is still to be determined.
Nayral's had a fantastic year, more strikeouts than innings pitched, and he's really got 3 nice pitches to get that. His fastball, split finger fastball, and his slider are just nasty. So when he works ahead, he's as good as anybody. It'd be fun to see him pitch on Friday night under the lights.
He'll be going up against a UCF offense that hits .294 as a team and .321 in the league. There's a look at the Kansas defense, including Augusto Mungarrieta behind the dish, forming the battery with Nayral. So you go from France to Venezuela on that Kansas battery, pitcher to catcher. Great defensive team, though, including LeBlanc at short, Dykhoff at first base, Schlotterbeck doing a great job on the hot corner this year for KU. The umpire behind Augusto Mungarrieta, you see right there, Christopher Griffith, will be calling the balls and strikes here today. Veteran crew along with Clint Wheeler, Ramon Armendariz, and Shaler Smith. Tyson LeBlanc has become a household name here in Kansas circles and really league-wide. Cade Baldridge, you see on your screen right there, has also been really impressive. Baldridge and LeBlanc, 2 of KU's hotter players of late. We'll get our first look at this UCF offense as Gaskin gets set to dig in. There's our man, Tyson LeBlanc, doing a great job for Kansas. And we referenced you had Williamson winning the perfect game National Player of the Week. LeBlanc was the Dick Hauser Trophy National Player of the Week. So not only 2 of the best teams right now in the Big 12, but 2 of the hottest individuals and the big names, not just in Big 12 circles, but across the nation. Caden Gaskin to lead things off, the designated hitter, hitting at .301. Batting .280 against Big 12 pitching. He'll bat leadoff here today. Thanks for joining us. A couple of hours earlier, this game moved up due to the wet weather in the forecast for later tonight. It rained all throughout last night here in Lawrence. Good to have this mammoth turf surface to help with the field conditions. First offering to Gaskin, hit foul on a fastball at 93. I think Kansas fans will probably still be filing in as this game continues to unfold, but Jayhawks really were expecting great crowds tonight had it stayed at its original start time of 6 p.m. On this day a week ago, they had to move up their game 7 hours because of weather, from 6 p.m. to 11 a.m. Jumping ahead 0-2 is Matisse Nayral. He thrived on that day as Kansas went on to sweep Utah last weekend, part of that 6-0 home record in league play. Gaskin down on the count 0-2. Nayral looking for a punch out to start up his outing. Instead, they roll one to LeBlanc. Throws across a little bit wide of the bag, and safe is the call despite the swiping tag attempt by Dykhoff. Bang, bang, but the throw just a little bit off target.
Yeah, and that's the one time as a base runner, maybe slide in head first to get underneath that tag. I don't know if Dykhoff got that tag off in time and looked like just missed it, and great hustle by Gaskin to get on base and put a little pressure on the defense.
Good hustle there by Gaskin, and a good call in real time by the first base umpire, Clint Wheeler. He was all over it. So reaching base safely on the throwing error is Gaskin. 1 on, nobody out, and now Mr. National Hitter of the Week, Andrew Williamson. First pitch swinging, took a big home run hack. It comes up empty. Homered 3 times in that series up at Monongalia County Ballpark there in West Virginia. Hit .600 on the series in 2 wins and 1 setback for the first place Knights at a top 3 team like West Virginia. Fastball misses low at 94 on the gun to even up the count. Williamson batting at .360 in Big 12 conference play. These Knights have hit .321 en route to that 10-2 league start. Their overall season average is 294, but like Kansas, they are cooking ever since the schedule flipped to the league portion of the year. 2-1 to the St. Petersburg, Florida native. Good power speed combo player is Williamson. 9 homers, 8 stolen bases. Big swing and a miss there. Now 2-2 runs the count.
Really nasty pitch right there, and pretty good crowd so far. Not the right start time that everyone thought, but they're piling in and they're getting fired up behind Nayrall. He's throwing mostly strikes here so far, and that last split finger fastball just dropped right off the table.
Checks on the runner at first. Back with a dive is Gaskin, who's 1 of 2 on the base paths this year. UCF as a team, 40 of 47 on the base paths this season. So they run a little bit more than do the Jayhawks. Williamson, former honorable mention All Big 12 player a year ago, watches that one drift just a bit outside, and the count runs full at 3-2. Last season, a .352 batting average, 13 homers and 53 runs batted in. And yet that was only good enough for honorable mention. It's a heck of a year. Runner goes on the payoff pitch and it misses down. So Williamson draws a walk, and UCF now with 2 on, nobody out. Reaching on an error and now a free pass. Puts 2 ducks on the pond for John Smith III.
Nice at bat there by Williamson. Battled some tough pitches with 2 strikes and worked that count full. Drew that couple extra pitches there from Nayrall and got the 3-hole hitter coming up with a couple guys ready to go.
What an addition John Smith has been. South Alabama transfer having a whale of a year. Team leading .393 batting average overall and a team leading .396 mark in the league. He's second on the team in homers and runs batted in. He's really good at South Alabama. He's been excellent at UCF. The 0-1 to Smith coming up from Nayrall. Lifted on a line toward the gap in left center. Ballinger ranging over will make a running catch. A terrific first out for the Kansas defense. Gaskin has to go back to second. Smith gave it a ride, but Ballinger, loving his new home in left, tracks it down.
Great pitch there by Nayrall. A really nice swing by Smith. Looked like a double off the bat. Brady Ballinger tracked it quite a ways out into that left center field gap and felt like he took away a double right there. Really nice job defending out there and covered some good ground for Ballinger.
So a big out of their best hitter for average, and now Zach Skinner coming up. And Brady Ballinger always wears a smile. The jersey could be pinstripes, it could be powder blue, it could be KU blue, but he always wears a smile. You love the energy, his infectious positivity. And he's got that Big J headband too. How about that?
A big deep breath after that last play. He's like, yeah, that was a really nice play. He's used to hitting doubles, but I think he took away one with his glove right there.
Zach Skinner hits one foul, 0-2. A play like that, I think, calms everybody down, including the pitcher.
Yeah, just getting that initial out, that's huge, especially a couple guys getting on base. And I think Nayrall's doing a good job filling up the strike zone, working with his catcher. That one didn't feel good. A little bit off of Augie's shoulder, it looked like right there. And now with 2 strikes, strikeout would be nice to go for, but even a ball on the ground would be something looking for Kansas, and Nayrall trying to use that good tilt and keep the ball on the ground.
0-2 to Skinner. Misses down. So the French pitcher throwing to a Venezuelan catcher is trying to strike out an Australian catcher. Nothing like college baseball nowadays. Both these programs recruiting from all over the globe.
Yeah, from Melbourne. Yeah, we got international battery going on. We got a big time matchup. Looks like the World Baseball Classic here.
A little bit. Augusto was a fan of that outcome. Grounder foul keeps it at 1-2 to Zach Skinner. Of course, UCF heavily recruits the state of Florida, such a talent hotbed down there, but several other further recruiting trips they've had to make, no doubt, including this one with Zach Skinner. 356 his average. Another guy scorching it in league play at 388. Foul ball hit sharply there, still 1-2. If anything, UCF really forcing Nayrall to work here in the first, and obviously the throwing error gives them an extra out, so a laborious first inning for the Kansas Friday starter. Skinner, a transfer from Lamar, awaits a 1-2. Lifted in the air toward right field. Drifting back is Bach, looks up, that ball keeps carrying, and it's off the base of the wall. They will hold up the runners at second and third respectively, as there was some question as to whether or not that ball would be caught, but it just kept carrying. Winds up being a long and loud single for Zach Skinner.
That's just a great at-bat from Skinner. He fought off a tough pitch on the inside corner and then waited back on that breaking ball. Ball is really carrying out there to right field, and nice play by Bach right there, playing it perfectly off the wall. Great relay in from Baldridge, and I think that was a good decision to hold the runner. Really long single, but a nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes.
You can see the stiff breeze blowing out that direction on a ball that just kept sailing. Landon Moran coming up there next, their first baseman. Bases loaded, 1 out. Big swing and a miss. Nayrall would love to get Moran to roll one over here. But another very steady contributor against Big 12 pitching. He's hitting .304 against the league. .274 overall for the Altamonte Springs, Florida native. Ball and a strike to Moran. Taxing first inning for the Kansas starter in his first Friday start. The error with Gaskin at the bat, opening the door to a longer inning than he would have liked, but can he get out of it here and wiggle off the hook? The 1-1. Little nubber. Nayrall tips it off the end of his glove. Everybody's going to be safe. It's been that kind of start to the ball game for Kansas in the field, and UCF strikes first, 1-0 Knights.
Just a little swinging bunt right there, and ball not hit real hard, but had a lot of action on it, a lot of spin, and definitely going to have some skipping with the way the weather is today. A little bit of a slick field, the ball's going to skip, and that was just a tough play on a really good bunt. If that was a bunt, that'd be a perfect spot for it, but I feel like big situation here early in the game. Only the first inning, a lot of game to play, but how well KU can minimize damage and get out of this. It's a good meeting right now from Augie to get out there and talk with his pitcher. He's doing a great job filling up the strike zone. It's a couple of tough defensive plays so far to start the game.
Gaskin, who reached on the error, comes around to score. 2 errors now in the inning. A walk and a 340-foot single. Javier Crespo coming up next. Crespo, the third baseman of the Knights. And a first pitch strike right down Broadway for Nayrall. Orlando, Florida native, hitting at .280 on the season. Couple of homers, 14 RBI for Crespo. Transferred in from FIU. Big swing and a miss, and Nayrall jumps ahead 0-2. I don't know about you, Kevin, but I feel like nowadays in college athletics, I reference the school they transferred from as much as the hometown. It's almost as important because almost everybody has one.
Or 2.
Yes, in some cases 3. 0-2 to Crespo. Fights it off to stay alive. His next offering, we're nearing the mid-20s on pitch count already. It's just 1 out gone here in the UCF first.
UCF showing a really good approach with 2 strikes. They really shortened up their swings, fouled some tough pitches off that could easily have been strikeout pitches, and kept their at-bats alive to keep this inning going.
The 0-2 from Nayrall. Lifted foul out of play again. 1-0 Knights by virtue of a couple of errors in this first inning. They're looking for a big swing out of the kid they call Tito to try to break this game wide open and hang a crooked number in the first. Lays off that pitch. 1-2. We referenced the FIU previous stop, and to your point, he was also at the Citadel before that. So some guys do have multiple previous schools. But he's been a great talent everywhere he's been. There's a big opportunity right here with a 1-2 do. Fouls it off again. Nayrall trying to limit the damage to just a single run, and an unearned one at that. But even if he does induce a ground ball double play here, it's nearly a 30-pitch first inning. Swung on and missed. Down he goes, K number 1, and a huge second out for Matisse Nayrall.
Really good job of winning that battle for Nayrall. Left that pitch up a little bit, but had a tremendous action. Great job of squeezing it by Augie off the foul tip, and really good big out there with the bases loaded. Something KU really did well against Nebraska, went in against a top 25 team this midweek. Got out of some tough situations, especially with bases loaded.
Indeed they did. Diamez Ross up there next. Another kid from Melbourne, just a different Melbourne, Florida. First offering misses inside. Ross, another guy that I think had a whale of a year last season, and it was only good enough for honorable mention. How good is this league? He hits .359, scores 53 runs, steals 14 bases, and he gets a nod from the conference, but just honorable mention. 2-0 now to Ross. Of course, some of that is now you got 14 teams in modern day Big 12 baseball, a lot of talented individuals. Not everybody can get on the first and second teams, but both Williamson and Ross, great players a year ago, also doing big things this season. To have him hitting in your 7 spot, that's a coup for the Knights. Bouncer toward first, waiting on it is Dykhoff. He's got it, a sprint to the bag, and he wins that race. Ultimately, only 1 run allowed, despite 2 Kansas errors in the inning. Hawks feeling fortunate, but the Knights strike first here in Lawrence. The always strong Kansas student section is fired up. The Knights may have come up with the game's first run, but KU able to get out of a jam and only allowed a single run. That has the students on their feet with their favorite mascot, Big J. We look inside the Kansas dugout at Dan Fitzgerald, the reigning Big 12 Coach of the Year. His team has won 13 of 15. And prior to Tuesday in Lincoln, they were averaging 10.5 runs a game in that stretch. They scored half that in Lincoln, but it was enough for the first team to ever win this season at Haymarket Park, other than Nebraska. Coach Fitz's lineup looks like that. He'll face off against Mateo Gray, moved up into this Friday role after a scary injury a week ago to Braden Smith. We'll talk more about later, but here's the numbers to Gray. Former long reliever, starting more of late, and a guy that they really like the upside of.
Yeah, he's just working his way up, earning some credit with his team, throwing a lot of strikes, and already 3-0 on the year, so a great opportunity to pitch on Friday night. Real competitor out there, and he's got some good Friday night type stuff.
This will be his third start, his 11th appearance overall for Gray. 1-0 Knights, Kansas with a chance to strike right back. This Jayhawk offense has really been something else of late. We referenced all the runs they've been averaging since mid-March when they came back to win the Sunday game in Lubbock and have been off to the races ever since. A collective Big 12 batting average of .333. Jordan Bach, a big part of that, sees a first pitch strike from Gray. Bach out of British Columbia, hitting at .326 overall on the year. Tied for the team lead in runs scored with 37 of them. He gets on base at a .449 clip. It's a heck of a table setter. Ball and a strike to the Canadian. Opposite of Gray, pride of Weston, Florida. 2-1 now to the Kansas right fielder.
Yeah, Bach's been outstanding this year. Probably seeing the most pitches on the team, seeing it, and almost wore one right there. Good eye and get into a hitter's count, but does a good job communicating with the rest of the lineup. And Jayhawks by the end of the game have really been on the pitchers. Here come the student section ready to go, and I think they're going to keep piling in as this game goes.
And there's a strike. We thought it might have been ball 4, but summoned back by Christopher Griffith. The count runs full. A week ago versus Utah, he hit at a .286 clip and scored 6 times in those 3 Kansas wins versus the Utes. Fouls this one off to keep the count full at 3-2. Referenced it was a laborious first inning of exactly 30 pitches by Matisse Nayrall. Now can Kansas force Gray to work a little bit? Pitch number 7 of this at-bat coming up right here. Down the line to left, hooking foul, and it will indeed. Touchdown, just foul.
Like what Fitz has done with the lineup. A lot of left-handers compared to last year. Such a powerful lineup, but this year for the Jayhawks, they've really balanced it well. And good day to hit today for a lefty. Nice leadoff at-bat already here for Bach, running it full and against a guy with a very good fastball and change piece.
The 3-2 to Bach. Right down the middle for a called third strike. A strikeout looking gets Gray's line off to a great start. Let's take another peek.
Looks like a two-seam fastball on that inside corner and just going right at a hitter's back hip, and that's close. Maybe a little too close to take with 2 strikes, but that's looked a little bit up. Had a lot of movement on it. By the time that ball was caught, it looked like a strike, and really nice pitch with 2 strikes to get a hitter not looking for that something coming right at him.
Now Cade Baldridge. Breaking ball strike on the first offering here, 0-1 to Cade. Team leader in batting average, but he and Bach have been going back and forth of late, only separated by 2 points. .328 his average. Had a nice series versus the Utes last weekend. Swings and misses here, 0-2. 6 for 16 with a home run, 5 RBI, and a .375 weekend mark. One of many Jayhawks strutting their stuff ever since mid-March. Slow roller first base side. Charging in, making the play is Moran. And 2 quick outs of Kansas thanks to Mateo Gray.
Another really good pitch for Mateo Gray. I really like his movement. Nothing's coming in straight. Either a breaking ball coming in or that good 2-seam fastball that really runs arm side. Nice job getting a couple of good left-handed hitters just off onto their front foot.
Now his toughest competition yet, Tyson LeBlanc. First pitch just misses. Tyson, the Big 12 Player of the Week. Big 12 Newcomer of the Week, the Brooks Wallace Award National Shortstop of the Week, and the Dick Hauser Trophy National Player of the Week. Ball and a strike to LeBlanc. This was on the heels of winning Big 12 Newcomer of the Week the previous week. So he's racking up all kinds of hardware of late for the LSU Eunice transfer. Hits this one sharply toward third on a couple of hops. Crespo's got it. Long throw in time, and a 1-2-3 first inning for Gray and the Knights. UCF making quick work of Kansas in the first, 1-0 here in Lawrence. Matisse Nayrall out for a second inning of work, hoping for a quicker one this time around after 30 pitches and a couple of errors in the first inning, one of which on his own tab. But despite all that, they only gave up a single run. So even though this first frame, top and bottom, KU'd like to have a do-over, you're only down one. And he'll face off with 8-9-1 here in the Knights' second.
That's a great point. It feels like kind of a rough inning for the Jayhawks there, but only down one run, and they're a kind of team that gets better the later in the game they get with their at-bats. So stay in the game and stick with that formula, try to win it late.
First offering in there for a strike to Lodi's. If you want proof of Kevin's point that KU seems to get better and better as the game goes on, look at these first 6 league home games. We talked about it in the open. They hit the go-ahead homer in the bottom of the 8th in every single game of the Houston series. Had a walk-off in game 1 of the Utah series with 4 homers in the bottom of the 9th. So it may take a while to get the heat on and get them to a boil, but the Hawks eventually get cooking as the game unfolds. Lodi's out of Brunswick, Georgia, with a 1-1 count. High fly ball, foul ground area. That'll be out of play. Lodi's talented young shortstop they're really excited about. True freshman. Hitting at 240, but really good with the glove, and the average will come in time. This is maiden voyage in the Big 12. Comes from a great baseball family. This one skips in 2-2. His brother Kyle played shortstop at Georgia Tech and was drafted by the White Sox in the 3rd round of last summer's draft. His cousin Alex played shortstop at Florida State, was drafted by the Braves in the 2nd round a year ago. And despite those draft picks of the White Sox and Braves of his family, he claims the Yankees as his favorite team. The 2-2 skips in, 3-2.
Another good at-bat and some good job by Moon Garrietta back there, blocking everything he can with 2 strikes. And theme so far today, UCF has really been tough with 2 strikes. They've been battling, fouling pitches off, and working a really good pitcher with good stuff to a lot of pitches so far early in the game.
And the payoff pitch missing high and tight. It's a leadoff walk allowed by Nayrall.
Now batting for UCF.
And Austin Jacobs will come up next.
Austin Jacobs.
Jayhawks doing some things here early that they've not done a lot of since mid-March on this 13-2 stretch they've been enjoying. A couple of early walks by Matisse, couple of early errors by the team, but they've limited the damage to this point. Going to have to work around a leadoff walk now in the second. Jacobs pulls back a bunt show, and it's in there for a strike. Austin Jacobs out of Geneva, Florida, a Clemson transfer. Redshirted there a season ago. So the numbers this season you just saw, his only collegiate numbers. Ball and a strike to Jacobs. I think they like both these freshman middle infielders a lot. Lodis, as I said, is going to heat up in time, but to have a redshirt freshman and a true freshman there in the middle infield, they have paired nicely this year. 2-1 despite the frame job of Augie. Nayrall needs an out right here as the top of the order looms large coming up next, and already about to throw 40 pitches here in the first inning plus. Runner goes, lifted foul. Lodis will have to retreat back. He's 4 for 4 on the base paths this year.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of these middle infields. I like what they both do, but Lodis, he can run over there. I think that's going to be a little bit of the key to this series. UCF can hit the ball very well, but they can run extremely well also. So keeping that runner in double play situations and out of scoring position is going to be a key to this weekend series.
2-2 lifted in the air toward right center field, ranging over. It's going to be Tyson Owens, and he will make a running catch for the first out of the second inning.
Great read right there by Tyson Owens. Great first step on a ball hit hard right into the gap. Nayrall pounding that strike zone, getting back in there, and outfield really playing well, covering some ground and taking away a couple balls already hitting to the gap.
So out number 1 recorded, back to the top of the order with Gaskin. He scored the game's only run, cashing in on an early throwing error from LeBlanc. Swing and a miss here, 0-1. Gaskin started the day at 301. The average is now dipped just south of 300, reaching on an error. But a pretty good table setter nonetheless. On base percentage of .378. Again, Lodis 4 for 4 on the base paths this year, and these Knights run a decent amount, 40 of 47. So Nayrall keeping a watchful eye on first. And he's jumped ahead 0-2 on Gaskin. When Matisse Nayrall is rolling, what's he doing?
Well, he's working ahead just like this at bat right here, working ahead in the count, but he has great, he's 6'5" up there. He throws the ball downhill. His fastball's got a lot of tilt coming down out of his hand, and he can change speed with 2 other secondary pitches. That breaking ball right there, they'll go away from a right-hander. His split-finger fastball will actually go away from a left-hander. He's got 2 great out pitches that go away from a hitter, really can utilize them in 2 strikes. But he's probably the most fastball-dominant guy on the team where he can throw a fastball in any count and get that swing and miss.
Barely getting a piece this time is Gaskin. KU's got to hurry with Schlotterback, and he makes the throw in time for out number 2. Lodis goes into second. Nice play by Schlotterback on the hot corner.
Great pitch down below the knees, getting a good hitter out in front, and Schlotterback playing in. Made a nice play on the run right there to keep a runner in check. Definitely no chance on any kind of double play. It hit so softly, but as we saw last inning, those soft hit balls can be tough play as well. That's a nice little play and a little bit of slick surface with the ball skipping a little bit today out there.
A little bit. I don't know if you can tell on TV or not. Got a little bit brighter. The sun's trying to peek through the clouds. But wet weather in the forecast all weekend. Big swing and a miss here to Williamson. Nayrall trying to settle in here. The guy who a couple of weeks ago was electric at Cincinnati, 11 Ks. He leads this Jayhawk pitching staff now with 43 strikeouts after fanning Crespo in the first. Head 0-1 on Williamson. Now 1-1 to the UCF Knight right fielder, who was so crucial to their series win in Morgantown a week ago, but didn't win the Big 12 Player of the Week mark because LeBlanc was amazing all week, including a game-winning homer in Mizzou in the midweek. 2-1 the count now to Williamson.
There's LeBlanc right there, and he's done a great job out there at shortstop. But what a fantastic couple of weeks. For one of the best stretches I've seen any Jayhawk have. Just huge clutch moments, and with the best numbers you can expect from anybody, especially out of the shortstop position.
Completely agree. In that 15-game stretch in which the Jayhawks have only lost twice, LeBlanc's raised his average from 194 to 320. So I'm sure Williamson understood when he didn't get the nod, and he was probably A-OK once Perfect Game called and said, "You're our national player of the week." Called strike there, runs the count full 3-2. Need to get a chance to spotlight two of the Big 12's best and two of the nation's best as well. One of four captains is Williamson, as you see that C on his chest. Looking for something he can drive here. Nayrall hunting a second K, but he won't find it on that one that skips in. 2 walks now in the inning, and 2 walks now on the tab of Williamson, who's walked both times against Matisse.
Left fielder John Smith III.
That one might not have been the worst walk in the world, going against a guy as hot as Williamson, and threw a nice splitty right there. Tried to get a swing from a really good hitter, but now going against a right-handed hitter, and guy could swing the bat with just as well. But I like that call, going with the off speed there and a full count to that kind of bat with first base open.
Big swing and a miss here by Smith. 0-1 to their leading hitter for average. He hit a ball well back in the first inning that looked like extra bases off the bat. Brady Ballinger on his horse tracked it down in left center field. A settle everybody down type catch when KU was stumbling out the blocks. Bouncer here foul. And Nayrall has jumped ahead 0-2. He saw the Knights strand 3 last inning. As he takes a big deep breath, he's trying to get him to strand 2 more this inning.
Double deep breath right there. I like that, and he's working ahead. Really makes his stuff electric.
The 0-2 from Nayrall. Lifted in the air toward right center and struck well. Ranging over is Owens. The wind pushing it. He will make a running catch. Lost his lid, but did not lose the ball. Tyson Owens tracks it down, and the Knights leave 2 stranded here in the second. 1-0 UCF in Lawrence.
This is Coach Bill Self. In the past, we talked about the overdose crisis. The good news is that drug overdose deaths are decreasing thanks to Kansans seeking treatment and the availability of Narcan. However, the danger is still real. Kansans are still dying from drugs laced with fentanyl. Please educate your loved ones to steer clear of street drugs, never buy pills online without a prescription, and always use a reputable pharmacy. Just one pill can kill.
Research at the University of Kansas improves lives worldwide. As a leading geology research organization, we do more than just study rocks. My team's world-class data helps farmers operate more efficiently so that they can save money and water. We take to the skies to reveal underground natural resources, and we test well water to ensure that communities can rest easy with each drink. Every day, KU breakthroughs create a stronger, safer world for you.
The research community at the University of Kansas is dedicated to solving real problems for real people. I study natural hazards and engineer homes and infrastructure to be resilient in the face of disaster. My work is helping communities prepare for and recover from destructive weather. We can't stop tornadoes or hurricanes, but we are making the world safer and stronger for families like yours.
Fans filing in and enjoying some competitive baseball here early between the first and second place teams in the Big 12 standings. 1-0 UCF leads. Matisse Nayrall has really had to work these first couple of innings. 54 pitches to give up just the one unearned run. Can the Kansas bats pick him up and give him some support here as we head to the bottom of the second inning?
I like that. Fans are wearing their helmets, and that's what I was always told. If you wear your helmet in there in the dugout, you know, coach, you want to go into the game. The coach will know you're ready to go. I think those guys are ready to go in.
Brady Ballinger, first pitch swinging, grounds this one out towards second base. Easy play on the second hop that time for UCF's Jacobs. One up and one quickly down in the Kansas second. Yeah, I've heard of bringing your glove to the park. Everybody does that, but it takes a special kind of fan to bring your helmet to the park. So kudos to those KU students we saw moments ago, and to Jacobs as well for the nice defensive play. Augusto Mungarrieta up there next. First pitch ball to Augie, hitting now at .312. 10 home runs is second only to Tyson LeBlanc. 29 runs batted in his first season as the Kansas catcher. Ball and a strike to Mungarrieta.
Showed some great power numbers already this year, and Fitz said Coach Hancock can get the most home runs out of any player. He's really done that with Augie. He's turned into just a great power hitter in the middle of this order.
I referenced his 29 runs batted in. 3 of them came on Tuesday night in Lincoln. Had a big RBI double in the 6th, a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the 7th. That's what gave KU the lead and ultimately the win. Ball outside and low, 3-1 now to Mungarrieta. The heroes on Tuesday and really a steady contributor all season long. Swing and a miss here, and the count runs full. Gray battling back against KU's 5-hole hitting catcher.
Big swing there, 3-1, and I like that for Augie, just looking dead red now about to battle.
Just gets a piece there to stay alive. It's been 4 up and 4 down against Mateo Gray. Augie trying to be the first Jayhawk to reach base in any fashion. Meanwhile, UCF has had 2 guys reach on errors, 3 guys walk, just 1 hit. They've had base runners left and right, and only 1 run to show for it. Swung on and missed. A second strikeout for Gray, and 2 quick outs in the Kansas second.
2-seam fastball riding hard on the hands right there. Great pitch there with 2 strikes, and not overpowering pitch by any means, but a ton of movement on there. Started out on the outside corner, finished up all the way touching across the inside.
Now Tyson Owens, the pride of Las Vegas. Been a busy man in the field today. What can he do at the bat? First pitch bends in for a strike. 269 hitter, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. He's been a great addition, no doubt, in his first season here at KU. Stand out at Cochise at the JC level. Posted some great numbers. And that has translated well to the Big 12. He skies this one toward right. The wind was blowing that direction early, but the park will keep this one in. And Williamson tracks it down near the track for the final out of the inning. Couple of 1, 2, 3 first frames for UCF's Mateo Gray. It's 1-0 Knights as we head to the 3rd. 12th ranked UCF trying to build on its one-game Big 12 lead. First place Knights visiting the second place Jayhawks and lead it 1-0 here early. They've left 5 stranded over the first 2 frames, threatening in each inning. Meanwhile, Teo Gray, rolling right along on the mound, has retired all 6 Jayhawks he's faced. So 2 very different paths to a 1-0 game. And in some regards, a little surprising it's only 1-0. They were all looking for a quick and clean 3rd inning. They'll have to face off against 4, 5, and 6 in the night lineup. First pitch to Zach Skinner in there for a strike. Skinner singled back in the first inning. It's the game's only hit. And he hit it off the wall in right field. Heck of a single. They held the runner at 3rd because off the bat you didn't know if Bach was going to be able to track it down or not. The wind was blowing at a pretty stiff pace at that point toward right field. It's calmed a little bit since, but it carried over the head of Bach, and everybody running hesitantly only moved up a station. Big swing and a miss there. 1-2 now to Zach Skinner.
That's a great point. I think Bach kind of deked him out there in right field, like he was going to catch it and really had no chance of making that play, but had a great read off the wall, and it was a really nice relay to stop that run. So nice piece hitting with 2 strikes, but good team defense as a whole.
Ball upstairs on a fastball from Nayrall. 2-2 to Skinner. We talked about the 30-pitch first inning that Matisse had, followed by a 24-pitch second inning. He'd love to have a quicker 3rd here to get back on track. But another full count worked by these Knights. We referenced his 11 strikeout performance at Cincinnati. That was also his season high in pitch count, 107, a couple of weeks ago. Here comes pitch number 60. Try it again. The Jayhawks in these parts are known for their excellent plate discipline, working long counts, forcing pitchers to come to them, and many times it results in a base on balls. UCF has done a lot of the same here in the first couple of innings. Swung on and down he goes. A strikeout for Nayrall. He fans Skinner for K number 2 by Matisse.
93 mile-an-hour fastball right down Main Street, and couldn't be any more down the middle. Just a nasty pitch, and hitter protecting against anything off speed cannot catch up to that. That's one of the 3 out pitches, and probably the best pitch of the game so far for Nayrall. Great tilt, great velocity.
He gets his first K since the first inning, and then the sun comes out. How about that? Sun shining on the Jayhawks here in the 3rd, but UCF with a 1-0 lead as Moran digs in next. Landon Moran reached on the error by Nayrall on some soft contact, but a whole lot of spin, and it tipped off the end of the Frenchman's glove. Everybody was safe. When he initially had it tip off his glove, I thought for a second, can he still track it down and like smother it on top of the bag before the runner gets there? But that ball was squirting loose, and Matisse, who's a bigger guy and was motoring over there as best he could, there was just no way to recover for the 6'5" right-handed hurler. Little number again. This time Schlotterback's got it, throws across, and quick work made of Moran. First 2 Knights sent back empty. 2 quick outs by Nayrall.
Nice range there by Schlotterback, taking away that ball right pretty much at the shortstop, but great job of pitching, going against a good hitter and keeping that ball down in on the hands. Just a really good job of using that defense behind him. Schlotterback's made every play you could ask for this season, and you can see him play deep, take away doubles, or take away bump base hits. He's a all-around player over there at 3rd.
Crespo up there next. First pitch strike to Javier. A strikeout victim his first time up. Matisse in search of a 1-2-3 third frame. Now jumps ahead 0-2, but Augie a little bit worse for the wear after that foul ball. May have hit him in a tough spot too. Ooh. You've got some protection to a certain point, but you're not bulletproof back there. He is one tough customer. Christopher Griffith giving him a chance to kind of catch himself a little bit and catch his breath, but wow. Certainly these nights are no strangers to some scary hard contact. We'll talk about that later. Good to see that Mungarieta able to tough it out through that foul ball. Did he swing? He did. It's another strikeout for Matisse Nayral, his second of the inning. And the Knights go in order here in the third. Time to get the bats going for Kansas. 7, 8, and 9 due up when we come back. 1-0 UCF here at Oakland Ballpark. Back in live at Oakland Ballpark, Big J, a man of the people, working the crowd and rocking some overalls straight out of Kevin Wheeler's closet. I didn't know he borrowed those from you today. Those look good on him.
Extra long there. Those ones are tall, but yeah, he's looking good.
Taking selfies. He'd sign autographs if he could grip the pen, but you know those Big J claws or fingers or whatever they are, kind of tough to grab a Sharpie, but he's working the crowd, no doubt. As Kansas tries to get the offense working with 7, 8, and 9 due up, Max Solis Jr. coming up first. What a season for Solis. Taking on a larger role this year in his second Kansas campaign. I know the batting average isn't there, but he's been heating up of late. And he's always had an impressive power stroke. As he fouls this one off. Just a matter of time before I think he really emerges. A couple of homers in the Utah series, 3 total bombs on the year. And while the BA is only 178, he's found ways to get on base. He's drawn 15 walks this year, was plunked once. So the numbers don't tell the whole story just with the batting average. There's a high fly ball. May come down wet. Shallow center field, wind pushing it around. A long track to make it there for Diamez Ross, but he comes up with the catch. There's that power we talked about. He just hit it further high than he did far.
That one stayed up in the clouds for a while. That was a moonshot right there. Really good team defense, making a call and using communication, but having that center fielder. He's really the leader out there on the whole field. He's got priority over everybody. He made the call, and everybody else cleared out of the way. Wind's kind of swirling a little bit, so that was nothing routine about that play.
Dykoff up there next, swings and whiffs on the first offering by Gray. Dykoff hitting at .261 for the Minnesota Crookston transfer. 6 home runs, 25 RBI. The 6 homers are third best on the team. Ropes this one to right. That's down for a hit. And this will be extra bases for Dykhoff. It rattles around in the corner. He motors into second standing up. And the Jayhawks finally, with their first base runner, get a 2-bagger from Dykhoff.
Really good swing right here by Dykhoff with that straight up stance. He just went down and got that ball down below his knees, and great swing from the left-hander. Really the power spot low and in for a lefty, getting into scoring position already with nobody out and trying to cut back on this lead, get this game tied back up, and see if the Jayhawks can manufacture a run here with the bottom part of the order.
Gray had been on cruise control, 7 up, 7 down, and now he finally has to pitch with a base runner on, and he's in scoring position. Schlotterbeck at the bat. First pitch swinging, first pitch driving. An RBI extra base hit down the left field line. Dykhoff will come home to tie the game. It's back-to-back doubles for Kansas.
That's how you do it. Just trade places with them. Line-to-line baseball right there, and 2 extra base hits on 2 swings of the bat. What a great 9-hole hitter is Dylan Schlotterbeck, and good job keeping that ball fair right down the line, knocking in that big run. And crowd was looking to get excited for something. Really good swings to get him going here in the third.
Yeah, we played almost an hour without a whole lot of juice for the home crowd, but back-to-back doubles has this group engaged and has this game tied as well as the lineup card flips to the top and Jordan Bach hunting KU's first lead. 1-0 to Bach. Not only is the offense coming alive, but as we get closer to our originally scheduled start time, more and more fans are filing in. The sun has come out, things are looking up. This one skips in, taking off is Schlotterbeck, and he's sliding in safely to third head first. The wild pitch moves Schlotterbeck within 90 feet.
That's not a charge for a stolen base, but that is a great job of base running right there. Dylan Schlotterbeck seeing that ball, breaking ball down and going just off that down angle, knowing a good catcher is going to have to try to block that ball. Great head first slide, and 90 feet away now from taking the lead of the Jayhawks on a great hustle play there by Schlotterbeck.
We'll see Skinner come out and have a word with Gray. Right before the back-to-back doubles, I was just about to ask you what's impressed you the most about Mateo Gray. Obviously, his line's been touched up a little bit in the last 2 minutes, but still, when he's been dealing, what's been working?
He's got a nice breaking ball, backdoor. He's got a good fastball, but I think the best thing, he's got movement on it. Nothing's coming in straight. He was getting the Jayhawks off on their front foot and off the barrel. It's not coming in like a pipe fastball. It's got a lot of movement. Even on his fastball, I've seen a lot of guys off the end of the bat.
This one hit a mile high down the right field line. Will it carry? Giving chase is Williamson. He looks up, and that ball is foul. Home run distance, but just barely foul, says the first base umpire. And so Kansas that close from a 5th homer of the season of Jordan Bach. Clint Wheeler was right there with a beat on it and signals foul right away. It's kind of a blind corner from our vantage point because of the indoor hitting facility down that right field line. So you totally got to trust Wheeler, who was staring right down the right field line. Oh, so close.
That ball was over the pole, too. That's a tough call to make because it's not crossing the pole at any time. That was a shot.
Now 3-1 to Bach. 1-1 tie. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Kansas in search of its first lead. Just the guy to deliver it, Jordan Bach, in a hitter's count of 3-1. Lifted well, deep center field. This will at least score the runner from third. Circling around out there and making the catch is Ross. Tagging and coming on home is Schlotterbeck, and Kansas takes a 2-1 lead.
How big was that moving up on the ball in the dirt? One swing, gets nice sac fly, and great at bat there by Jordan Bach. He's going to get some high fives from the dugout. Both guys playing the game the right way, and that's kind of manufacturing the game, manufacturing the run right there, knocking in your free throw, as Coach Fitz would say, and great piece of hitting.
Indeed it is. Now the base is empty, 2 outs in the frame, but 2 runs have come across, and the home team in front for the first time today. Cade Baldridge fouls this one on the first pitch he sees. You talked about it, all the come-from-behind victories for Kansas this season. It was just a 1-0 deficit after one here today, but already the Jayhawks have mounted that comeback to pull in front, now trying to add some insurance to it, knowing how good an offensive team these Knights are. Little number off the end of the bat. To field it is Gray. The throw in time. Nice job fielding his own position there by Mateo Gray. But Jayhawks strike twice in the inning. A pair of back-to-back doubles from Dykoff and Schlotterbeck. Have the Jayhawks leading 2-1. Dan Fitzgerald will join us when we return.
I think first and foremost, people know me as a basketball player, but it's definitely a lot deeper than that. Through the community, I hope that kids can look to me as somebody they can lean on. I can be a support system. To my partners, to Ameritrust, I hope that I'm somebody that they can rely on to be a good ambassador for their brand. And I hope that this partnership really helps a lot of younger kids make wise financial decisions. Ameritrust Credit Union, now serving Colorado.
Rally House, shop every team in town, college and pro. Come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Rock Chalk chants, the pride runs deep, flags wave high, wave the wheat.
Rally House, it's your city, it's your house, it's a Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
Two of the Big 12's best doing battle here today in Lawrence, and right now second place Kansas leading the Knights in first place 2-1 thanks to a 2-run rally in the third. And now we go inside the Kansas dugout to talk with the reigning conference coach of the year, Dan Fitzgerald. First off, Coach Fitz, how about the setting, number 1 versus number 2 in the league standings? These are the types of weekend series you came to Kansas to bring this Jayhawk faithful. How excited are you for this weekend with UCF?
Yeah, obviously really proud of the start we're off to, and every weekend in the Big 12 is tough, and we're always playing someone really good. So every weekend feels like a 1-2 matchup, but this one obviously is the actual 1-2 matchup, and yeah, a fun one and a great crowd and a great setting today.
Maybe not a crisp start for your team, but you were able to limit the damage to just a single run despite the first 2 errors of the game back in the first inning there. Speak to the job Matisse and company have done to hang around and now have a lead.
Yeah, we're fortunate that we only gave up 1 there. We not only did we make 2 mistakes defensively, but they had a base running error that allowed them to only score 1 there. So we were fortunate, but love the way that we bounced back and got 2 there in the third and took the lead.
With that lead taken in the third, Dykoff and Schlotterbeck did the heavy lifting. Speak to the weaponry you're blessed to have in the 8 and 9 spots, guys that might hit a lot higher in some other lineups.
Yeah, those guys are really tough. Great approach at the plate, and guys that have played a lot of baseball, and you know, they just understand, as do the rest of the guys in the lineup and on our team, that it's just team offense. You just move it to the next guy. But those were some really tough bats at the bottom, and I thought Max just missed that ball in the fly ball to center too. That was a great swing. So started to see him that inning. Didn't love the at-bats before that, but loved how we locked in here.
And lastly, Coach, what do you need out of Matisse to economize his pitches here in the middle innings despite the laborious first 2 frames?
Oh, this pitch counts up. So we need him to get through this one. We need to get him to cruise a little bit here. That was only strike 2. I think Chris accidentally punched him out there on strike 2. But Chris umpired in the big leagues. He's awfully good. So anyway, yeah, we need Matisse to go a little bit here.
Coach, we appreciate you as always. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys. Rock Chalk.
Dan Fitzgerald joining us here in the 4th inning. We'll hear from Coach Wallace next frame. There's a pop-up and foul ground right in front of us. This will reach the metal bleachers for a loud second strike. Still 3-2 to Diamez Ross. Yeah, 54 pitches over the first 2 innings for Nayrall. Got back on track a little bit last inning, but here yet again, another full count worked by the Knights.
Knights have a nice lineup. They really do a great job with 2 strikes. They've been battling all day long, and thought we got a ring-up call on that second strike, but it's going to take 3 here, and another foul off on a tough pitch. 93 right at the knees, just fouled off all the way through this order. They're pesky hitters.
They are indeed. You can see why they've had so much success. A 294 hitting team that's hit 321 against Big 12 pitching. Their on-base percentage in the league is .410 as a team. Bouncer hit toward first. Tough second hop. Dykoff's got it. The big Frenchman covering the bag at first. Nayrall steps on the sack for out number 1. Good play for Kansas, 3-1.
Nayrall winning the battle once again, keeps pounding that strike zone, doing a really good job of competing. Nice pitch, and the good hitter just buried it right into the ground. Dykoff has some good range for a first baseman out there. Good job by the 6'5" pitcher to get over there, field his position, and that's what they're working on since spring training right there, is that exact play, and great hustle being a cat off the mound.
Indeed. It's a big cat at 6'5". Lodice up there next. First pitch strike to Lodice. He walked his first time up there. Almost came around to score, but one of a couple of Knights left stranded in the second inning. They've stranded 5 over the first 3 frames. This one smashed to right center field. It's going to get down. How far will it roll? All the way to the track before it's scooped up by Owens, and Lodice will dive into second with a 1-out double. On base twice already is the freshman, and the Knights have something brewing here in the 4th.
That's a great swing there by Lodice. That doesn't look like a freshman swing. He stayed inside out the ball, drove it to that right center field gap. It's actually a nice play out there in center field by Owens to make a good backhanded play and good spin move just to keep it to a double. Nice job getting into scoring position from the freshman and having a little fun out there at second.
We do have at least one dog in attendance today. I think that was what he was mimicking. Either that or just some calisthenics at the top of the diamond. I don't know. Jacobs at the bat. First pitch strike. We'll show you the other dog in a second in the UCF section, because I actually met him pregame. You know, I got a soft spot for man's best friend. Charlie, a special dog down the third base line. First the 0-1 to Jacobs. Skips in 1-1. Get a new baseball here for Nayrall.
Another good block there by Moon Garrietta. A ball that only went about 56 feet. He ended up chesting it up and took that one hard off the neck early in the game, and there he is.
There's Charlie.
Charlie Hustle.
So Charlie is the dog of Coach Wallace's father and mother-in-law, who are here today. Here's the 1-1 to Jacobs. Ball upstairs, 2-1. So his in-laws are here. That's his lovely wife, Alex, wearing the stocking cap above them. But I'm most focused on Charlie. Charlie's a star in my eyes. But great to have the family support. I'm told that Alex and their 2 girls travel to a lot of the games. The daughters aren't here this particular game, but supporting dad and husband every chance they get, including last week in Morgantown.
I bet Charlie's loving this weather. Kind of like the cooler weather. It's probably a little warm down there in Orlando, but this is perfect pup weather.
Exactly. A 2-2 count to Jacobs. They check on the runner at second. Lodice back with a dive. 2-1 our score. Kansas pulling in front in the bottom of the 3rd and looking for a shutdown inning right after it. But both teams have had nice productivity from the 8 and 9 spots. Jacobs trying to deliver an RBI swing right here. Bounces this one toward third. Schlotterback's got it. Fires across, off target, but the tag is applied this time. Dykoff gets his man for a big second out for the Kansas defense.
Another great pitch right there from Nayrall, and a nice play. Schlotterback getting it over there. Great job. Dykoff making that tag, and I like the effort by Jacobs making that diving play, try to make that tag a little bit tougher for a first baseman, and might have been a little tough on that arm for Dykoff. That was almost hyperextended a little bit, how much he had to reach for that play, and really nice tag to get a big second out in the inning.
Dykoff having a great game both at the bat and in the field. Now back to the top of the order, and Gaskin for a third time. He swings and whiffs there. He reached on an error on an errant throw by LeBlanc that was not a successful swipe tag. Back in the first inning, Dykoff doing all he could to haul in a toss-off target and swoop back to tag Gaskin, who avoided it and ultimately came around to score their only run. Nayrall gets him on the slow breaker there, and Matisse has jumped ahead 0-2. Caden Gaskin. South Carolina transfer, started his career at Northwest Florida State. Nayrall seeking a strikeout to end the inning. That breaker just misses outside. 1-2. The line today for Matisse, 3 2/3 of 1-run ball, and it was an unearned run. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He would love a 4th K right here. And he's gonna get it. Swung on and missed. Down goes Gaskin. Matisse Nayrall dealing here in the 4th. 2-1 Kansas. To the bottom of the 4th we go here in Lawrence on ESPN+. It's a couple of innings can make. The sun has come out. The offense is heated up. Now it smiles all around as second place Kansas leads the first place UCF Knights 2-1. There's Glenn Quick, great academic advisor for baseball. Golly, probably 3 decades of service to Kansas athletics. He's an absolute stud. Kansas leading at 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Bodie Ray possibly could hear his name called later in the ball game if there's a lead to protect. From Ray to Gray, though, Mateo Gray was really good early, 7 up and 7 down before back-to-back doubles by Dykoff and Schlotterback. Got Kansas up off the mat and back in the ball game. Now the Jayhawks will look to add some insurance as they send up 3, 4, and 5 in the Kansas order. Tyson LeBlanc. The C is silent, but it stands for clutch, and he has been that certainly for Kansas in his first Jayhawk season. The Dick Howser Trophy's National Player of the Week a week ago. 2-0 to LeBlanc, who does not pronounce the C because it's the French Louisiana Cajun pronunciation. And more folks are figuring out how to say his name because he was on SportsCenter last week with the walk-off game winner. Grounder hit sharply toward third. Excellent play by Crespo. And a couple of ground outs to third now on the tab of Tyson. A quick out for Mateo Gray and the Knights.
Good pitch by Gray, keeping it down, and Crespo just staying with that ball, coming and getting the short hop, making a tough play a little bit easier, and a nice throw over there to first to get a very hot, tough out. Time for Brady Ballinger to come up, try to get things going here, and try to score as many runs as possible. Both these teams can really hit. And
shows bunt, pulls it back on a breaking ball strike. 0-1 to Brady Ballinger. Numbers a little bit down from a year ago, and he was obviously outstanding en route to All-American honors. Preseason first-team All-American heading into the year. This one skied and foul ground and dropped by Gray. And the Kansas student section all over the UCF starter.
They weren't helping him out, but I don't think right there. I think there's plenty of room, and man, I don't like that when you have a pitcher making that play when you have a catcher at third base right there. Probably not the one. He's a good athlete, but probably not the priority on that ball, giving Brady Ballinger another life. And love to see that crowd. A little home field advantage right there.
Big swing and a miss, and he gets his revenge with the form of a strikeout right there off speed. He'd much rather have the K than a catch and foul ground.
He took about 13 miles an hour off of his fastball with a really nice straight changeup and a little bit of arm side run, and nice play there by Gray, keeping his composure after a tough play the pitch before, going and getting one of the tougher outs in the Big 12.
2 quick outs for Gray here in the 4th. Now Mungarieta up there next. First pitch swinging, laces one to center, and that's down for a hit. Augie delivers KU's first hit in the 4th and their 3rd base knock of the ball game.
He is up there ready to hit, keeps the hands inside the ball. It's just a frozen rope right up the middle. It's batting cage base hit, and trying to get something going here for the Jayhawks with 2 outs. He's done a nice job of using the whole baseball field for getting on base. The right field all the way to the left, spraying the ball. Really good looking spray chart.
Now Tyson Owens. He had a fly out to right field to end the 2nd inning in his only AB today. He had to run to right field to catch another ball defensively earlier in this game, showing off his speed and range in center field. (0-1) here to the Vegas native. Ball and a strike to the Kansas center fielder. Jayhawks trying to forge a 2-out rally here and build on their 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Bouncer hit up the middle. Will it get on through? It will indeed. Past the diving attempt of Jacobs, Mungarieta will go into 3rd. And it's back-to-back 2-out base hits. Augie thought about sprinting on home as it got away on the cutoff. But 1st and 3rd, 2 outs on back-to-back singles for Kansas.
And that's another player whose average has been rising here in Big 12 play. Good job of staying inside out of the baseball, keeping it right in the middle of the field with 2 consecutive hitters. Great aggressiveness 1st to 3rd, looking for home right there. And now chance with runners on the corners here with 2 outs. Look for do something special. Fitz really liked what Solis did at his first at-bat with that fly out. He hit it a mile just straight up, and love to have a chance for him to get a couple of his good A-hacks off here with 2 outs and 2 men on.
Saw some A-plus hacks a week ago with a couple of homers versus Utah. This breaker misses a little bit low. 1-0 to Max Solis. What a series. A 385 weekend he had at home last weekend. 5 of 13, 6 runs batted in, 2 long balls. He's ahead 2-0 here. Boy, that Kansas student section that this season is located right above the opponent dugout really makes their presence felt. You can hear them on every pitch. The 2-0. Bounced foul that direction. 2-1. Love the energy they bring, their creative signs. They get this Kansas team hyped. And sometimes can get in the heads of the Kansas visitors. The 2-1 to Max Solis. Hit foul. Two balls and two strikes to the former Arkansas Razorback, who played sparingly last year at Kansas, then had a big summer in the Northwoods League and elected to come back this year. And even though, as I said, the batting average lower than he'd like it to be, he's finding other ways to contribute, getting on base a lot via walks. And when he puts the barrel on the ball, look out Naismith Drive. Well inside, tips away from the catcher Skinner. The throw to the plate, tag applied. Out is the call. Look for a second like Mungarieta might slide around it. But they get the out on the tag by Gray, and that's how the inning will end. We'll show you a replay when we return. 2-1 Kansas, on to the fifth we go. Big 12 baseball on ESPN+. Two to 1, the Jayhawks lead it as we head to the top of the fifth inning. It was this close to being 3-1 Kansas. But the throw got there in plenty of time. A creative slide attempt by Mungarieta. Good job of getting the glove all the way down by Gray. And just like the famous song by the Grateful Dead, A Touch of Gray, he gets the tag, just a touch. Get out Mungarieta for out number 3. Hawks have heated up, though, these last couple of innings. Gray had stymied them over the first 2 1/3, 7 up, 7 down, but multi-hit innings in each of the last 2 frames has the home team in front. Matisse Nayrall now pitching with a lead. But for how much longer? His first pitch of this fifth inning will be his 87th. He referenced his season high as 107. They'd love to get 6 out of him tonight if they could. Williamson to lead things off. This is where it really gets interesting. 2, 3, and 4 due up, seeing him for a third time, but Williamson first pitch swinging, bounces it to Baldridge, and quick work of Andrew Williamson. Previously had been on base twice.
Batting for UCF, left fielder John Smith.
One pitch, one out. Great job by Nayrall coming in and hammering those knees against a really good, powerful hitter in Williamson. Nice job keeping that defense ready and really getting out in front of that release point, keeping that ball down below these good UCF barrels.
John Smith III up there for a third time today, and nothing to show for 2 good swings. He started the day hitting .393. Hit a sharply hit fly ball to left center, tracked down by Ballinger. Another deep drive to right center, tracked down by Owens. This one just misses. 2-0. Both were the types of swings that could have driven in multiple runs. Neither did. Kansas able to get to both balls with great hustle and a ton of ground covered by Ballinger and Owens. So does he come after Jordan Bach in right field this time? Let's try somebody different. 3-0 now to John Smith III. Matisse Nayral. Trying to find the zone against a dangerous hitter, and he does, right down the middle, 3-1.
Yeah, Smith has that ability. He can drive the ball with very good power to all three fields, and he's got kind of rob jobbed his first couple at-bats and looking to put the ball in play hard here.
Bounces this one right to Matisse, boots it twice, still has time, and makes that play. If at first you don't succeed, try again, and on the third scoop, the Frenchman comes up with the out.
Really good job of sticking with it. Just kind of put a fork in it there after a while, but good job of blocking the ball. Little throw on the run over the runner. Looked like a little quarterback on the run, a little Mahomes style right there, but great job being an athlete, sticking with it, and getting picked up by his catcher. I like that athleticism from the big Frenchman.
Promise that's the first time Matisse and Patrick Mahomes have been used in the same sentence, but I like it, partner. And so does he. That's his second out of the inning. And some high heat with Skinner for strike one here. He's really done a great job, has Nayral, of settling down, settling in, and getting into the middle innings, despite those first two frames with all kinds of base runners, the pitch count way up. He's been much more efficient with the pitches these last couple of frames. And don't look now, but outside of that double by Lodi's, it's been nothing but outs the last time through the order. He's retired 9 of the last 10 UCF nights. And now he's one pitch away from getting through the 5th. Still shy of 100 pitches.
He's doing a great job just being a competitor out there. That's what you need on a Friday night in the Big 12, someone to go out there and match that good arm. He's done nothing but that. He's competed all game long, dealt with adversity, and showed some really good composure and great stuff.
2-2 now to Skinner. Skinner got the game's first hit. Coming up with a one-out shot off the wall, the right field, his first time up, but as Coach Fitz said, a little bit of a base-running blunder made it a non-run scoring play. Fortuitous for Kansas back in the first. Number off the end of the bat, Nayral. More graceful this time, runs into his catcher though, and throws high, and safe at first is Skinner. Skinner with some decent wheels for a catcher that time, gave a good hard 90, and the contact pitcher to catcher may have sprung him for the hit.
Yeah, tough play right there. That ball's hit straight down the ground. Actually ended up being like a little pop-up. It had to wait for it a little bit, and pretty much right in between both players, both good aggressive players going after it. Gave it a good effort, but Skinner's showing off the wheels and trying to get this thing tied back up. Look for him to be aggressive over there on first base, try to get into scoring position to get this game tied.
They do indeed score a single. Next offering skips in, facing off with Moran. Skinner is 2 for 2 on the base paths this year, and now a multi-hit game for Zach Skinner. 2 very different balls. One hit 340 feet off the wall, the other about 4 feet in front of home plate. Big whiff right there. Ball and a strike to Landon Moran. The next offering will be Nayral's 100th.
Yeah, Skinner, great job using that whole field, literally keeping it a whole part of the ballpark, but got a real tough left-handed bat coming up here.
2-1 now. When we come back in the bottom of the 5th, we'll have a chance to talk with Rich Wallace, third-year head coach of the Knights. And for some of our Kansas viewers that didn't see what happened with their Friday starter last week, we're not going to show it to you, but a gruesome line out off the face of Braden Smith. We'll get an update on Braden in the bottom of this inning. Swing and a miss, now 2-2. There's a look at his head coach, who did something pretty tremendous. And you get hit in the head like that, they got to fly home a couple of days later. He was not allowed to get on the plane. So he rented an SUV and drove all the way from Morgantown down to Orlando with one of their assistants to be with his player the whole drive through the mountains and down the East Coast. We applaud that type of leadership, servant leadership, no doubt, out of Rich Wallace, and we'll get the very latest on Braden Smith, who I'm sure is tuned in right now thinking about you, Braden. 2-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Knights try to forge a comeback here in the 5th, and there's a ball past the reach of Baldridge and on into right field. Back-to-back 2-out hits now for UCF, and they've got 2 on with Crespo set to come up next.
Good line drive swing by Moran, just stayed back, really simple, smooth, compact stroke, and busted it over there to the right side. Nice job with 2 outs keeping this inning going, and pretty big at bat here coming up. Looks like might have a pinch hitter coming up to face the right-hander in a left-handed bat.
Pinch hitting for UCF, number 51.
Indeed we do.
James Hankerson Jr.
Hankerson summoned from the dugout. Big, tall, 6'3", 235-pound sophomore out of Tampa. A Florida State transfer. He takes the spot of Crespo. And a big spot here. We'll see Dan Fitzgerald come out for a mound visit. And you wonder about Nayrall at 103 pitches. Will the 4th-year Kansas head coach allow him to face the pinch hitter here and try to get through 5 full innings? Looks like he's going to make a call to the bullpen. Tying run in scoring position. Give Matisse a ton of credit. After 54 pitches in the first 2 frames, you wondered if he'd even make it this far. But he's leaving with the lead. Won't qualify for the win as he didn't get through the 5th, but he's put his team in position. They will hand it off to the very capable hands of Ryan Ritter when we come back. 2-1 Kansas, but UCF threatening in the 5th. I'll tell you about Ritter right after this on ESPN+. Matisse Nayrall with a great job, well done in this first Friday start for Matisse. Won't qualify for the victory, but I'll tell you what, he battled, he competed, and the 1 run he gave up to this point, an unearned run. It'll be Ryan Ritter's job to make sure it stays just a single run on the tab of Nayrall. St. Thomas transfer coming on. Rogers, Minnesota native, his 19 appearances lead the Big 12. Tied for 4th most nationally. It's been a trusted arm, and I think even better than that 5.61 ERA would indicate. One of those rare guys that got to pitch 3 times against his previous school earlier this year when St. Thomas came to Lawrence and KC for a 4-game set.
Yeah, Ritter has been nasty for the Jayhawks, usually been first out of the bullpen, but he's a guy that comes in some tough fireman type situations just like this with runners on base and trying to get out of innings. It's been rare kind of coming in on a clean inning. He's done a good job dealing with guys on base. He's a real competitor and tried to eat away the middle part of this game with his good electric fastball.
Hankerson, a big physical presence in that left-hand batter's box. Awaits the first offering from Ritter. You were a former Friday night starting pitcher, Kevin Wheeler. What was it like when you were staring in at 6'3", 235? A little imposing. First offering inside 1-0.
Yeah, he reminds me of a lot of those old Nebraska hitters I used to face, the big-time guys, Hopper and Alex Gordon, guys like that. But that kind of build, and I saw him during BP really takes a nice aggressive swing and got a power stroke. I love this move from Coach Wallace, bringing in a good left-handed bat. He's actually a switch hitter, but left-handed bat in this situation to try to drive in these crucial runs. No batting gloves, too. You don't see that much anymore.
Very true. Ball and a strike to Hankerson. His favorite big leaguer, Barry Bonds. Hits that one like Bonds, but hooks it foul. Struck well, long and loud for strike number 2. Hankerson started his career at Florida State. Now a redshirt sophomore. He did not see any action with the Seminoles. Primarily a DH last year with UCF. That one pops the catcher's mitt at 93. 2-2 to Hankerson. Big spot here for the Knights to try to tie things up at the top of the 5th inning. Now 3-2. This 2-out rally began with Zach Skinner hitting a little nubber back to the pitcher's mound, and high throw after the Kansas pitcher Navarall ran into his catcher, tracking it down, left the door open. Moran then singled to right. Here's a payoff with 2 on and 2 outs. Down he goes. Ritter with the high heat, and he strikes out Hankerson to retire the side. Halfway through this one in Lawrence, Kansas continues to lead. When we come back, head coach Rich Wallace of UCF right after this on ESPN+.
Dear Friday, let's put good times in gear. We've got power tailgates to power game days, and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota trucks. Get Toyota. Let's go places.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Have you ever wondered if there was a place where access to excellence isn't guarded by ivy, but open to all who strive for greatness? Where education leads to more than a degree, it opens the door to a career and a better life. Where imagination ignites invention and innovation, and the boundaries between science and creativity converge. That place is here, the University of Central Florida, a place for those who dare to invent the future.
2-1 Kansas. As we move on to the home half of the 5th inning, we see Braden Calise coming on at third base after Crespo was pinch hit for. Thrilled to bring you from inside the UCF dugout, Rich Wallace in his 3rd season coaching at his alma mater. Your first time coming to Lawrence as a league foe of the Jayhawks. We'll break down the game in a second, but UCF, now members of the Big 12, we got to see your awesome place last year down there in Orlando. What do you make of your first trip to Lawrence so far?
That's actually our 2nd trip. I've been here a couple times.
Times.
Yep, it's a great little ballpark.
One loop to left will be down for a hit. Jayhawks get the leadoff man on in Solis. Continue, Coach. Sorry.
Yeah, great little ballpark, great atmosphere. Another nice Friday night in the Big 12.
We're glad to have you in the conference, and certainly it's been...
Hold on one second, guys. Lot D1, Skinner.
It's been fun to watch your team, a club that's surpassing every single league expectation for the preseason. What's been the magic en route to a 10-2 start?
Well, I think this is a tough, resilient group that loves to practice and get better and play the game at a high level. We just continue to play the game better and better as the seasons went on.
2-1 score here in the bottom of the 5th as we talk with the head coach of the Knights, Rich Wallace, who made some headlines last week after a gruesome injury with Braden Smith taking a comebacker 105 miles an hour in the first inning of that ball game versus West Virginia. You made headlines by renting an SUV and driving him all the way home to Orlando with one of your staff members. Want to salute you for that servant leadership and what you did to be there for your player. But first and foremost, how's Braden doing?
Braden is doing as good as he can after that incident. He's probably sitting here watching this game wishing he could be with us, but he's as good as he could be. Long road to recovery, but we're progressing in the right direction.
I heard you got the MLB app out. You were listening to some baseball play-by-play, big league games. How long was that drive from Morgantown to Orlando?
Yeah, it was 13 and a half, but both Braden and I are Cardinal fans, and we kind of enjoyed that. The Cardinals came from behind and figured out a way to win a ball game, and it made the drive a little bit better.
Well, again, our thoughts are certainly with him, and kudos to you, Coach. Before we let you go, how about the job that Mateo Gray's done being thrust into that Friday role?
Yeah, he's a pitch maker, man. This guy's worked his way into this. He was a two-way guy last year that has worked his way into one of our best arms. Super competitive. Couldn't be more proud of Mateo.
All right, well, Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Rich Wallace joining us inside the UCF dugout. Big thank you to him. And again, you love to see that type of relationship, player to coach. He told the media, you know, he tries to treat all these guys like one of his own sons. He has 2 daughters in real life, but 30-plus sons on this team. There's a fly ball going to be hauled in out in right field for the first out of this 5th inning. Dykhoff flies out to Williamson. But with one of your beloved players going through one of the most gruesome injuries any player can suffer, he wanted to do whatever it took to be there for him, and couldn't get him up 30,000 feet in the air when you're dealing with a head injury like that, just 2 days removed. He wasn't going to be allowed to fly, and so to make that trek nearly 14 hours, pretty impressive stuff, and a salute to Coach Wallace and his staff, and as I said, thoughts and prayers with Braden Smith.
Absolutely. Going through some country roads, listening to some baseball, sounds like made the best out of a really tough situation. I remember having that with me and Richie Price over playing in Hawaii, and him having broken bones in his face, not being able to fly as well, and didn't really have the option of driving that. But this is just a Friday night type pitcher. That's just a really tough one, and tough kid. It's
foul tip here by Schlotterbeck. Did you guys take a cruise ship back? How'd you get home then? He had to wait it out. Eventually, he was able to fly home.
Had to wait it out a little bit and was able eventually, but too much pressure for a while. But yeah, that'd be a long cruise. I was able to fly, but Richie had to wait just a little bit longer. And
yeah, that was about 24, 25 years ago. But it seems like he had 20-plus stitches. I can't remember the exact number. Ground ball hit past the diving glove of Lodi's, and Kansas has 2 on now, and something brewing here in the Jayhawk 5th.
You're right about the bottom part of this Jayhawk order. They're really coming alive. Dylan Schlotterbeck, just a great average already. 2 hits, multi-hit game, wearing out that left side of the field. And nice job of Solis getting on with a nice base hit and getting it back to the top of the order. Mateo Gray has shown he is a pitch maker. He's made some great pitches today, and see if that might have been his last one, but his movement's still enough to keep the Jayhawks a little bit off their normal track, scoring double-digit runs in a game.
Get a mound visit here for UCF. Pitching coach Drew Thomas out of Illinois State in his 3rd season. They're just getting loose out there in the UCF pen, so this is more of a settle him down, go over the scouting report, and try to stay away from a big inning for Mateo Gray, who, again, is only in the mid-60s on pitch count. The Hawks threatening. This is the 3rd consecutive inning in which the Jayhawks have had multiple hits after 7 up and 7 down to start the game when Gray was rolling early.
KU did a great job in the midweek against Nebraska after they got the starter out, really being tough on the bullpen. I think both these teams, Jayhawks and UCF, have fantastic bullpens, and teams are really good late in the game.
Called strike to Bach. Hawks and Knights. 4-4 in the all-time series. I'd forgotten that the 2024 series was actually here in Lawrence, but 8 meetings all-time. This the ninth, and Kansas leading it 2-1 right now. Big swing and a miss. Jayhawks swept the Knights a year ago. But UCF, one season later, is the class of the conference with a 1-game lead on Kansas. But currently trailing by a run here in the middle innings. This one just misses. 1-2. Good eye by Bach. Nerves of steel to lay off that one with 2 strikes.
Nice little backdoor bender and a great pitcher's pitch. A couple of years ago, UCF went to a regional. They won a couple of games. I believe it was a doubleheader here in Lawrence. And last year, a little bit of rebuilding, but really tough team this year. Top of the class, and hear the crowd really getting into it. You can feel the battle, but this game means a little bit more. Both these teams fighting to take the top spot in a really tough conference.
The 2-2 to Bach. Downstairs, the count runs full. And that Kansas student section above the UCF dugout just gets louder by the inning. Try to will their Jayhawks to a bigger lead here in what could be a breakthrough moment. 2 on, 1 down, and a payoff pitch due to Jordan Bach. There's ball 4. He's fired up, is Bach. A Bach walk has him loaded. Cade Baldridge digging in next.
You made a great point. Bach laid off some tough pitches, some backdoor breaking balls that were right there. Looked like they could be called either way. He laid off them and threw a really hard-fought walk to get the bases juiced. Another huge part of this ball game right here. Now into the 5th with the bases loaded, and UCF looking for anything on the ground, trying to keep that ball, anything to get a double play, and Jayhawks looking to really open this game up. Pretty much a crucial part of this game. We saw one in the first where the Jayhawks minimized, and now a chance for UCF to do that same thing.
Catcher and pitcher huddling up. A little bit of activity now in the pen. Shauna Boom getting loose. Senior out of Arlington, Texas. His dad made the trip. We'll show you him later if he gets in the ball game. First, Cade Baldridge. He's had some big moments in his first couple of months as a Jayhawk. This would be a huge one if he could deliver right here. That was his first pitch strike. Baldridge started the day leading the team in batting average at .328. He's gone 0 for 2. 5 homers, 24 RBI. He's been terrific for Kansas. Can he come through yet again? Another bender for a strike. And 0-2 very quickly goes Mateo Gray.
2 great pitches by Mateo Gray, both backdoor breaking balls, pretty much unhittable. I think good takes by Cade Baldridge, can only really roll those over into weak contact, good eye, and now he's going to have to protect with 2 strikes.
Swung on and missed. Down he goes. A huge strikeout of Baldridge for the second out here in the Kansas 5th.
Another changeup right there. Went breaking ball, and then changeup. Looked like a fastball in the inside corner. Took about 10 miles an hour off of it, and that's just a nasty pitch. 3 straight pitches against one of the best Jayhawk hitters.
Now perhaps the best, Tyson LeBlanc. 0 for 2 today. It's been a quieter week after he was just monster mashing it the last 3 weeks. Grounder here on the first pitch is foul. 0-1. We talked about LeBlanc raising his batting average from 194 to 320 over a 3-week stretch in which the Jayhawks have gone 13-2. He's hit .450 in that stretch with a .539 on base percentage. But Nebraska held him to an 0 for 4 with a walk on Tuesday. He's 0 for 2 today. He's due. Another foul ball. You couldn't see it, but a nice play made by Tyler Hancock, the hitting coach and third base coach, with a barehanded stab.
Nice play, and he does an outstanding job with these hitters. These guys, they come in here as good hitters, and when they leave being a Jayhawk, they maximize their power potential. All of them go from more home runs than they've had in previous years, and this is a great example. Tyson LeBlanc just going from a great hitter to a great all-around power hitter as well.
The 0-2, well outside. A good block back there by Skinner, especially with a man 90 feet away. Jayhawks have Solis at third, Schlotterbeck at second, Bach at first. Bases loaded full of Jayhawks. Opportunity knocking for Tyson LeBlanc. Trying to open up a bigger lead on the first place Knights. A little cue shot foul will keep them alive 1-2.
Here with the runners on, Mateo Gray really going to his off-speed pitches. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of straight change-ups, and just barely off the end of the bat was LeBlanc right there to keep his at-bat alive.
The 1-2. Grounded toward his counterpart at short. They flip to second on the short throw and get the out there. And the Jayhawks will leave them loaded here in the fifth. 5 innings in the books, separated by the narrowest of margins. That's how it should be when first place plays second place. Two to 1 Kansas as we move on to the top of the 6th inning. Jayhawks leading first place UCF. Peek inside the Kansas dugout. And if the Hawks will just bend down a little bit, I'll show you our Director of Baseball Operations in his 3rd season, Luke Marbach. If you can't see him there, there he is. There's Luke, 3rd season, former standout player in 5 years in Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Does a fabulous job as the Baseball Operations Director, but he's a multi-talented guy, like many on this Kansas staff, and we'll tell you about his other hidden talent between batters. But Luke Marbach, whose parents are flying in for the series this weekend, they'll be here tomorrow. Appreciate all he does, both on the field and off, as Ross will dig in first. 7, 8, 9 due up for UCF. Diamez Ross has a couple of ground outs to first base here tonight. Both plays made by Dykhoff. He's got speed. 14 swipes a year ago, 11 this season, and this could be extra bases down the line to left. It paints the chalk, and that's a fair ball. Ross will coast into second with a leadoff double. UCF will try to keep the line moving. On Wednesday night, the line was moving in Lawrence with some line dancing instruction going on. First, we'll see the replay here on the double by Ross. But as I mentioned, Luke Marbach, the Director of Baseball Operations, super talented baseball mind, but he actually gave a free line dancing class for anybody who wanted it in Lawrence, Kansas. And half the folks that came out were members of the KU baseball team. Talk about a great bonding activity on the off day. That's your Director of Baseball Operations. He's got some moves. You want to do some play-by-play on the 5 teammates that were out there too? Here's a bunt drop down. The throw to first by Ritter just in the nick of time. But a successful sacrifice by Lodi's has Ross 90 feet away.
I like that. That was impressive. He showed a little something right there. Got to meet his parents last year at the Big 12 tournament. Really nice people, and man, a talented dude. He's got a little oh, there we go. Got a little rhythm out there.
If the Hawks could protect this 1-run lead and move into a tie for first, he might just bust that out down the first base line. But right now, it's getting tied around the collar as UCF is 90 feet away from tying this thing up. Jacobs up there next, and he will single right up the gut on the first pitch he sees. Ross comes in to score, and we've got a whole new ball game here in the 6th.
Really good swing from the 9-hole hitter, and Jacobs up there ready to hit with the runner in scoring position. Waited back on a breaking ball, knuckleballed it right up the middle. Just a frozen rope, and a nice job of responding by UCF. Seemed to gain some momentum, getting out of that bases loaded jam, coming back and tying this ball game up in the 6th.
Ross scores the game's 2nd run for UCF in the tying run. Now a ground ball up the middle. Baldridge to the blonde, over to first. Throw is high, but in time. Dykhoff with the full extension reach. And the 4-6-3 twin killing will retire the side. Hit into by Gaskin. But UCF able to manufacture a run thanks to the leadoff double by Ross. 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Two-two tie as we head to the home half of the 6th inning. UCF fighting, scratching, and clawing to get that 2nd run of the ball game. Now Kansas will try to get it right back as 4, 5, and 6 come up. Starting with Brady Ballinger. One of the leaders on this Kansas team, a preseason All-American. He could be just the guy to light the fuse, provide that spark, and get the Hawks back in front. Brady now hitting at .291 on the year. 4 homers. And Gray out there for a 6th inning of work. About to throw his 80th pitch. What a job for a former long reliever, making just his 3rd start of the season, thrust into a bigger role now on a Friday night after the injury to Smith. He's been terrific. And a 1-1 count here to Ballinger. Can't say enough good things about Mateo Gray.
Yeah, he's an ultimate competitor. Love what his coach talked about him being a two-way player. You can tell he's just an ultimate competitor, and I think he talked his way into staying in this ball game. Looked like maybe thinking about making a change after last inning, got in a little bit of trouble and worked out of it, but it's his coach. He wants the ball, and I love that mentality. You get the ball and try to stay in as long as you can. Gray's done a great job, mostly competing, using his movement, and nothing really overpowering, just a good job at changing speeds.
The 1-2, smash towards center. Park will keep it in. Drifting back and making the catch is Ross. A long and loud first out to start this Kansas sixth. And Ballinger is 0 for 3.
Good job coming all the way back from Gray, but nice piece of hitting there from Ballinger. Put a charge into that ball. Nice play in center, going back, staying behind it, and just a log swing. Ball not really traveling all that well today, but chance here for Augie to get this team going.
He was the big difference maker on Tuesday night in Lincoln with the 3 RBI, including a 2-out, 2 RBI base knock. Proved to be the game-winning runs. First pitch fouled off 0-1. Big swing and a miss here. 0-2 to Augie. Venezuelan catcher who likes a lot of Venezuelan major leaguers, but one of his very favorites is Salvador Perez, another Venezuelan catcher who plays 45 minutes down the road in KC. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Augie here. And he's hopeful to get some face time with Salvi at some point, but he's going to be busy for the next couple of months.
Yeah, Salvi's the best. Everybody loves Salvi, especially Augie, no doubt about it. But nasty breaking ball right here. Starts on the outside corner, looks pretty good to hit, then just falls off the table. Good job by Gray, taking even more and more velocity off of it to get these aggressive Jayhawk hitters out on their front foot.
Tyson Owens up there next. Jayhawks have already dipped into their bullpen with Ritter having worked the last inning and a third. It's been Mateo Gray the whole way for UCF to this point. He's trying to go through 6 full innings here and at least have a tie, maybe even better by the time he leaves the game. Certainly an admirable and very impressive effort in his first Friday start. Dials it back there on the off-speed offering, and Owens cuts and whiffs. Owens 1 for 2 today. Now up to 274 on the season. Three and 1 now to the Kansas center fielder. Owens was amongst the most productive Jayhawks last weekend. Hit .417 versus the Utes. Had 7 RBI. This time it's a 2-out walk. You never know how that can open the door. Nice patient approach by Tyson.
Another great at-bat. Tyson's having a nice game defensively. He's ran down some balls in center, and great at-bat right there. Trying to get something going here for the Jayhawks here with 2 outs, and chance for Max Solis to come up and get something clutch. Over there at first, Owens would love to get a ball in the dirt or something good to run on to get into scoring position here. Get a single to score the go-ahead run.
He takes off. Here comes the throw. Skips in. Safe is Tyson Owens. 5 for 5 on the base paths this year for the Kansas center fielder. And now an RBI opportunity for Max Solis.
How about this? Owens barely even had a leadoff, 1 or 2 step leadoff, kind of walking lead, and nice job. A hustle getting all the way down to second into scoring position. It's a good job kind of deking the pitcher right there, not looking like you're going and then taking off.
And keeping his foot on the bag as he slid past everything. How about the body and foot control there to keep that left foot down all the way? It's a breaking ball, strike 1-1. This combination of Solis and Owens, they were the catalysts in the series opener last weekend versus Utah. They hit the first 2 of 4 bottom of the 9th inning home runs for Kansas. Both solo shots for these two. Can they combine on another series opening moment 1 week later? 2-1 to the Kansas DH. One for 2 today is Max. Barely gets a piece there, and now 2 strikes on the hitter. Who's gonna blink first? A battle for first place in the Big 12 standings is a deadlock 2-2 tie. Bottom of the 6th inning. Max Solis trying to change that right here. Mateo Gray has other ideas. Rope to left. Will it stay fair? Yes. And it's down for a hit. It's going to be an RBI for Max Solis, who motors into second. It's a 2-out RBI double, and the Jayhawks are back in front.
Great at-bat right there by Max Solis Jr. keeping that ball fair. That ball stayed up in the air a long time, didn't hook at all. He stayed inside out. Pretty nice play out there and left to take away probably a ground rule double, but a great piece of hitting with 2 strikes, clutching up for the Jayhawks with 2 strikes, 2 outs. Max Solis Jr. already multi-hit game.
How about that? That feels good for a guy who started the day at 178. We told you he's had some big swings the last couple of weeks. You feel like a breakout's coming, and sure enough, another multi-hit game here today. Will that knock Gray from this game? It's been a valiant effort for the former long reliever, making his 3rd start of the season. 95 pitches deep. Coach Wallace on the walkie-talkie. Coach Thomas surveying his options. And it looks like they're going to go under review here. Did the slide of Solis take him past the bag when the tag was applied? That's what they're looking at here. We'll show it to you once the umpires are done looking at it. But I think the play's going to stand and be okay here. Solis was sliding in feet first after being a little bit delayed in deciding to go to second. Did he keep the knee down the whole way? What do you see, Kevin?
I think that knee might come off, but it looks like that front left foot might have the heel on the base. So that.
And also the front left foot keeps you from a visible angle of the front of the knee. Got to have conclusive, decisive visual evidence to overturn the call. Again, he pulled up after rounding first and thought about it for a Mississippi or two. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had to slide in such hurried fashion. Knee up. Is the knee back down?
Reminds me of a little twister, a little left foot down, right foot red type thing. Right there. But I think he stayed on.
It's so funny you say that, because I thought about twister on the previous stolen bag by Owens when he had the control to keep his left foot on. Thought left foot yellow. That was impressive. Here comes your call. Call stands safe at second base. Guess it was worth the shot. But challenge unsuccessful, and the Jayhawk inning continues with a 3-2 Kansas lead. And now Josh Dykhoff, who's already doubled and scored in this game, gets a chance to come up again. That, by the way, the 3rd Kansas double of the day off of Gray. And it will indeed likely end the day of Mateo Gray. Call to the bullpen for UCF. It's a 3-2 score. Can second place Kansas hang on and pull into a first place tie with the Knights? Bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Jayhawks. We'll tell you about the new night right after this. Matthew Heil has been summoned from the UCF bullpen. Talented southpaw, about to make his 9th appearance of the year. His 3 total innings pitched for Heil. He inherits 2 outs in the frame, Solis at second, and the dangerous Josh Dykoff about to dig in. But UCF want to go left on left here to try to stop the bleeding and not allow another 2-out base knock. This all started with a 2-out walk to Owens by Gray, whose day is done, the book not yet closed. Again, very admirable effort out of Mateo Gray, but he left that door open just a smidge with the walk to Owens. And after a quick swipe of second base, he was doubled in by Solis.
Great day for Mateo Gray. He really competed well. Nice job by the Jayhawks battling with 2 outs. And now what UCF's doing, they really pitch well out of their bullpen with situationally with lefty-righty situations and guys that go after certain hitters. So kind of the strength of their team coming up. 12th ranked team in the country, and Jayhawks putting a lot of pressure on them here, even with 2 outs. 2 outs, 2 strikes. They really kept this inning going, and we got a hard-fought battle here. And low-scoring, good college baseball game.
We do indeed. Kansas, who just beat a top 20 Nebraska team on Tuesday and enjoyed a nice RPI bump of about 8 places with that win, now could possibly win back-to-back games against ranked teams if they can hang on here in the latter innings. But they'd love some insurance. Currently a 1-run lead. Dykoff with a 1-0 count. He had KU's first hit and first run of the day as part of a 2-run third. Jayhawks hunting an 18th come-from-behind victory, although this was just a 1-run deficit through 2.5 innings. Skied within the infield. Second baseman Jacobs calling everybody off, squeezes it tight with 2 hands, and that will retire the side. But the 2-out RBI double by Max Solis has Kansas back in front. 3-2 Jayhawks. To the 7th we go.
Need a second opinion? Look no further than Kate's Heating and Cooling. I was told that my 15-year-old furnace had a cracked heat exchanger by a local HVAC company. I wasn't convinced and wanted a second opinion, so I called Kate's, and I'm so glad I did. Their team conducted a thorough and professional free inspection with a combustion analyzer, and in 15 minutes, Kate saved me $14,000.
10-year manufacturer's warranty? Not here. With Kate's, you're covered for life. Kate's, where service makes the difference.
Rally House, shop every team in town, college and pro. Come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Rock Chalk chants, the pride runs deep, flags wave high, wave the wheat.
Rally House, it's your city, it's your house, it's the Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
Three to 2 Jayhawks as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Fan enthusiasm on the climb for baseball in the River City. Last season, the Jayhawks made their first regional in 11 years. This season, the way they're trending of late, they've got designs on hosting one. Kansas has won 13 of its last 15. A win today would pull them into a first-place tie with UCF, but still 9 defensive outs to go. We got a nice start today out of Matisse Nayral, who only went 4 2/3, but gave up 1 unearned run. Since then, Ritter has been out for the last inning and a third, allowing 1 run. It was earned. KU, moments ago, took a 3-2 lead on the Solis double. Can they protect that lead here in the latter innings? One of the hottest hitters in the country digging in next, Andrew Williamson. On base twice today with a couple of walks. He's also grounded to second base. Ritter runs it 2-0 to the UCF right fielder. This time a week ago, Williamson was homering twice at Monongalia County Ballpark up in West Virginia, called strike. Wound up homering 3 times on the weekend. All solo shots. Just missed the weekly honor in the conference behind LeBlanc. Fastball high and away, 3-1. It was his first 2 home run games since his freshman season. Went 3 for 4 last Friday night with the 2 long balls and a 5-0 win. Another homer came in the Sunday game. 5-1 victory. Fouls that one off to run the count full. And how about that scheduling? They have to go to West Virginia, who at the time was in second, now in third place. Now they come to Kansas, who's in second, trying to fend them off. Back-to-back road swings through 2 of the conference's best. Payoff pitch to Williamson. Ball 4, a leadoff walk. His 3rd walk of the day for Williamson, who's now picked up 20 bases on balls this season.
For UCF,
and Williamson, a true 5-tool player. He can really hit, but he can run as well. Look for him to be aggressive on anything he can in the dirt and try to get into scoring position to try tie up this ball game. And he's just a real powerful guy that is on first base, and now it's up to John Smith to try to get things going. He's hit the ball hard, really barreled up on the ball all game long without too much success.
Soft fly ball this time, shallow center field. Baldridge backpedaling will make the catch for the first out of the UCF 7th. Good job retreating by Baldridge. Big outs of their top hitter for average, John Smith. Now Zach Skinner. Skinner's been their most productive batter today, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Climbing up to 364 on the season average. Ritter starts him out ahead, 0-1. So he pitches toward a second full inning of work, 1 2/3 of 1-run relief. They would have an option to turn to Bodie Ray at some point in the latter innings, now back in the pen as opposed to starting on a Friday as he'd done the previous 2 weeks. Jayhawks liking what they got out of Bodie in all shapes and sizes, all aspects of when he was deployed, but they really like his mentality late in games. Those final 3 outs are the toughest ones, no doubt. The 0-2, just a bit outside. Crowd groaning at the strike zone of Christopher Griffith, who's done a good job today, but that one just misses.
Ryan Ritter showing why he's so tough to hit. He's got great arm side run with his fastball, 93, 94, just popping that mitt. He's got that slider going away from right-handed hitter as well. So he's got 2 legit nasty out pitches.
Let's see if he can get Skinner, who's already racked up his 13th multi-hit game of the season, which leads the team. The 1-2. Inside 2-2. Second on that list is Smith, who hits about 40 points higher but has 11 multi-hit games. Zach Skinner, your team leader for the Knights. Augie throws down the first base line on a bounce. Good block there by Dykhoff. The count runs full to Skinner. Bit of a Maalox moment here for Kansas, as the base runner at first reached via a walk. Williamson could ill afford to walk 2 in the inning, especially against a good offensive team like UCF. Runner goes, but it's hit foul. We'll try it again at 3-2.
Just a huge pitch here in this ball game. Runners being aggressive over there, trying to take away any kind of double play situation, and one of the best hitters on the team up there, a guy who can really battle with 2 strikes.
The payoff pitch bounced to second. The only play for Baldridge is to first. You called it, partner. Trying to get out in front of a double play ball was Williamson. He does, but it's the second out of the inning. Tying run in scoring position in Williamson, but it will require a 2-out hit from Moran.
Great pitch right there from Ryan Ritter. Keep that ball down around knee level. Baldridge made a nice play with a runner coming and crossing in front of his path and sticking with it. Now 2 outs, looking to clutch up and minimize any kind of damage here with a UCF runner into scoring position.
First pitch right down the middle for a strike on a fastball at 93. Moran's been on base twice tonight. He reached on an error back in the first, singled in the 5th. In search of his 8th multi-hit game of the season. Strikes this one well toward left. Ballinger breaks back a couple of steps. He's got a beat on it, and that's the final out of the inning. Jayhawks able to work around the leadoff walk, and we head to stretch time with Kansas clinging to a 3-2 lead. A battle for first on ESPN+. On to the 7th inning we go. Jayhawk fans absolutely believing they can possibly pull even in the Big 12 standings with first place UCF. Hawks 6 outs away from a first place tie, and UCF will hand the ball to Kevin Shonaboom. Talented right-hander out of Arlington. A sparkling 2.50 ERA. This will be his 16th appearance. Probably a closer commute for his dad to drive about 7 hours up here to watch him in Kansas. Great to see the parental support of the UCF fans. His father, Trent, very proud of his son, and one of several folks that made the trek out here, learning new Big 12 conference towns their 3rd year in the league. Slaughter back to lead things off. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Jayhawks. Off speed and past him for strike 1. Slaughter back 2 for 2 today. A double with an RBI and a run in the 3rd. A single back in the 5th. Couple of Texas natives locking horns here. Schlotterback out of Lakeway, Texas versus the Arlington native. It's not as interesting as the Frenchman versus the Venezuelan with the Canadian at the bat. and the Australian that we had earlier. 2-1 now to Schlotterbeck. Although both these guys would probably love Luke Marbach's line dancing class that we showed you earlier.
Oh, absolutely. They could be all over probably teaching that class. They're probably there every night. But so, some of the best baseball players come from down in Texas. We got a Texas matchup here. Kind of tells you can get all the players in Texas and still have some really good ones to go around the rest of the country. Shauna Boom, a great breaking ball, big-time fastball guy, and Schlotterbeck, just an outstanding third baseman who's put together with the bat this year in a big way.
Foul ball out of play. 3-2 now to the Kansas third baseman. He and his brother Gavin, their first season as Jayhawks, out of Paris Junior College. Former JUCO All-American. 3-2 and the big one due, and it's lifted on a line toward right center, ranging over and making a running catch is Williamson. Well, he got on his horse for that one and tracks it down to support his pitcher, Shauna Boom.
Nice piece of hitting there by Dylan Schlotterbeck, driving it to that right center gap on a hitter's count. Williamson showing his five-tool talent, pretty much like a center fielder out there in right field, made a great run and took away extra base hit.
Indeed he did. Now Jordan Bach as we go back to the top of the order. Bach had a sac fly RBI back in the third. A walk in the fifth and nearly a plunk right there. Thankfully he gets out of the way. What do you call that, little cheese at the knees?
Peas at the knees.
Peas at the knees.
According to Satchel Paige.
Cheese sounds better to eat. I love your expression. Just sounds tastier, I should say.
Either a little cheddar at the letters or some peas at the knees.
I like it. I like it. 2-0 to Jordan Bach. Got that on-base percentage now up to .450. Foul tips that one 2-1. As you can see beneath the score there, Kansas 9-3, UCF 10-2. Separated by a single game on the season, separated by a single run here tonight. If Kansas can maintain this lead, we'll have a first place tie heading into the weekend. 3-1 now to the leadoff hitter, Jordan Bach. Shauna Boom so steady all season, trying to keep this a one-run affair and keep hope alive for UCF, who will have 6, 7, and 8 due up in the 8th. Called strike runs this count full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a soft flare to right center field. Ross sprinting over, has time, and makes the catch. For a quick second out here for Kansas in the 7th. What a great weapon Ross is, both offensively and the ground he can cover in center field. The Ames Ross, he's a fun one to watch. So is Cade Baldridge, though. Hitless today for Cade. He had his 7-game hitting streak snapped on Tuesday, but he leads these Jayhawks with 15 multi-hit games on the year, and no time better than the present to start up a new streak. Kansas won with pitching and defense in the midweek. Prior to the 5-3 win at number 19 Nebraska, they'd been averaging 10.5 runs per game over their previous 14. Offense cooled a bit, but they still found a way. Here's a ball corked well to center. Ross will drift back and make the catch. Makes it look so effortless. And that will retire the side. 7 innings in the books. It remains a 1-run ball game. 3-2 Kansas. To the 8th we go next. The top of the 8th we go, and Ryan Ritter out there yet again. He's done a terrific job of 2 1/3 innings of 1-run relief, scattering a couple of hits, 1 walk, 1 K. And after they had Bodie Ray go the final 9 outs on Tuesday against another ranked team on the road in Lincoln, they're asking for perhaps 10 outs out of Ritter here, and then Ray could be summoned for the final 3. We shall see. But first things first, it's 6, 7, and 8 due up for UCF, starting with the replacement at third base after the pinch hitter we saw Hankerson come on in the 5th inning. Ever since the bottom of the 5th, it's been Calise out at second base, Braden Calise. This is his first time up there offensively. They've not had much out of this position. 3 strikeouts swinging from the 6th spot in the lineup. 2 by Crespo, 1 by Hankerson. Contact this time, but a 2-hopper to LeBlanc. Low throw in time. They get the out.
Great pitch there by Ritter, keeping that ball down with some little bit of tilt and sink to it. Another nice play by LeBlanc out there at short, having to make a big-time throw, showing off the arm and throwing out a plus runner.
That'll bring up Diamez Ross. Doubled and scored his last time up. That got this game tied in the top of the 6th. Kansas immediately took the lead back in the bottom of the 6th, thanks to the big swing by Solis, a 2-out RBI double. First pitch strike here to Ross. Hitting now at .283 after a 1-for-3 line here tonight. Excellent speedster out of Melbourne, Florida. Originally starting his career in Tallahassee. Former Seminole. Ball and a strike to Ross.
Ross, a good-looking player. He runs down a lot of balls in center. He kind of has a crouched little stance up there at the plate, gets down low and stays inside the ball. Old school Rod Carew style type approach up there, but he's a really good ball player and the guy you want on if you're UCF to try to get things going.
Swings and misses there. 1-2 now to Ross. Yeah, 11 stolen bags on the year. If he gets on, they got a great chance to score. He'd be a key out right here as he fights that one off. 1-2 to Ross. We're talking multi-hit games earlier. He's got 3 3-hit games, including last Saturday versus West Virginia. Been on base just once tonight, but it was a big one. Little number towards second. Baldridge sprinting in, throws and beats out the speedy Ross. A couple of middle infield groundouts have 2 outs on the board here in the UCF 8th inning.
Great pitch once again, keeping that ball down below the knee level, making a good hitter pound it straight into the turf, and Baldridge taking his time, making a nice play, smooth on the run. 2 fairly good ground ball outs for Ritter, who's come in and done a really nice job of bridging the gap from starter to closer. He's come in with a purpose and really filled up the strike zone.
Now Lodis. 3 productive plate appearances for the freshman, who cuts and whiffs on the first offering here, a high fastball. He walked his first time up. He doubled back in the 4th. Had a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. Fastball blown by him. 94 on the radar gun. Now Ritter 1 strike away.
Ritter used those big, strong legs, get some good power on that ball, and just to overpowering 94-mile-an-hour fastball, good movement and good late life.
Ritter brings it home, soft flare to right, sprinting in is Bach. He will make the running catch. A 1-2-3 8th inning. Kansas rolling with Ryan Ritter. They lead it 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th frame. First place on the line tonight in Lawrence, and Kansas in front. 3-2 Kansas, and the Jayhawks looking for some insurance here in the 8th. Will face a new UCF reliever, Anthony Larez. Larez out of Key West, Florida. Redshirt freshman, big tall right-hander, 6'4", 225. Jayhawks have gotten great relief pitching out of Ryan Ritter. They were able to push ahead in the bottom of the 6th, getting right back the run they had just seeded in the top of that inning. They'd really like one more run, Kevin. Not to be greedy, but knowing that 9-1 and 2 are due up in the 9th, they'd love an insurance run. They'll send up a heart of their order here in the 8th. LeBlanc, Ballinger, and Mungarieta to try and get it.
Absolutely. A big tack-on run would be huge here in the 8th, and just the guys you want coming up, 3, 4, 5 for the Jayhawks going against a very talented freshman.
Tyson LeBlanc fouls off the first pitch. Go back to Tuesday night in the win in Lincoln. He walked and scored in the 6th, but otherwise was hitless. 0 for 3 today, so 0 for 7 with a walk on the week after being hotter than the face of the sun last week and really the last 3 weeks. This probably feels like a massive drought by his standards. Ball outside, 1-1. But you would expect he's going to have some big swings and a huge say in this series before the weekend's done. Maybe even to lead off this 8th inning. Fouls it straight back. He'll probably remember last week for the rest of his life because this Tuesday night included the game-winning homer at Missoula, 8th inning go-ahead home run. When he dug in thinking he was going to bunt, and then they shifted things defensively, he decided to swing away and he hit a 3-run shot. Then 2 nights later, a walk-off after 4 homers in the bottom of the 9th. Swing and a miss here, and down he goes. Excellent strikeout by Larez.
It's just a big-time pitch, climbing the ladder, going with that high four-seam fastball, going and getting a very good hitter to just expand his strike zone. And LeBlanc doing a nice job defensively, and Larez coming in. If he can control the ball, he's very tough to hit. He's got a little bit of control issues where he'll walk some guys, but he's got a big-time power arm. And up for that next guy, Ballinger coming up, trying to do some damage.
First pitch to Brady outside for a ball. Ballinger also hitless. I think if you would have told Dan Fitzgerald that 1 through 4 in the Kansas order would all be hitless entering the 8th inning, he'd still have faith in the bottom 5, don't get me wrong. But he might be thinking, uh-oh, we may need a rally. Instead, the Kansas pitching and defense outside of the first inning has been so good that the Jayhawks lead 3-2 despite a quieter top half of the order tonight. Foul ball out of play, 2-1. Now, in Jordan Bach's case, he has a walk and a sac fly, so he's been productive but still hitless. Top 4 in the order, combined 0 for 13, and yet Kansas leads. Why? Because 5 through 9 have all been really good, including multi-hit games from Solis and Schlotterbeck in the 7 and 9 spots. Big swing and a miss there, 2-2. Yeah, the Kansas hit total of 7, all coming from the bottom half of the order. Ballinger, though, trying to change that with one swing here. Fouls it off to stay alive at 2-2.
That's what these pitching duels come down to, relief pitching and bottom half of the order. That's what really determines these games, and Ballinger giving a good tough at-bat right now. And every once in a while it's the small ball type stuff with a bunt, moving guys over, little small things. We saw Schlotterbeck move up on a huge ball in the dirt that ended up being a go-ahead run so far.
Ties him up on some high heat, and down goes Ballinger. Back-to-back strikeouts for Larez.
Larez goes back to that high heat, did a good job of changing the eye level of a good hitter, went down, 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 and then finished with 91 up at the eyes. Great job coming in and filling up the strike zone, throwing some good fastballs by some very good KU hitters, and a really big inning to see Jayhawks can extend this lead.
Mungarietta cuts and whiffs. So if I'm scoring this correctly, we had P's at the knees, cheddar at the letters, and that was a surprise at the eyes. Eye level, change of pace, surprise attack for a second K for Laras. Trying to strike out the side here. 1-1 to Mungarietta.
Yeah, my old coach used to say about that high fastball, looks good, hits bad.
That's a good way to phrase it. Augie, one tough customer, took a foul ball off the neck behind the dish earlier. Hasn't missed a beat. That one brushes him back a bit. 2-1. The Kansas catcher now hitting at .313 on the year. He almost scored in the fourth inning, but on a ball that got away from his catcher counterpart, Skinner recovered through to the pitcher, and the tag was applied on a feet-first slide by Augie. 3-1 now to Mungarietta. Jayhawks leading by the narrowest of margins. A nail biter here in the latter innings. There's a base knock and a multi-hit game for Augusto Mungarietta. Snaps the roll that Laras was on. Gives Kansas some life with 2 outs.
That guy just plays the game hard. He plays it the right way. A lot of catchers be out of the game after taking one right off the neck. Yeah, Augie did early in the game. Stayed in and toughed it out. And nice job keeping this inning going. Frozen rope out there to left field and getting Tyson Owens up. A very good hot hitter for the Jayhawks, and chance to extend this inning, put a good left-handed bat to the plate.
Augie now with 12 multi-hit games. First pitch to Owens, misses for a ball. This is the first of 3 this weekend between the first and second place teams. If this score holds up, tomorrow's game will be featuring the 2 first place teams, as in a first place tie. There is wet weather in the weekend forecast, though, so you'll have to keep your eyes on KUathletics.com and both teams' social media pages in case there's any type of scheduling tweak as we head into the weekend. But for the moment, 2 o'clock on Saturday, noon on Sunday is the plan. Breaking ball foul. That's why you look at this first game with the possibility of weather, possibility and talk of maybe a doubleheader, nothing official yet. Claiming that first game so important.
It's huge winning on a Friday. This Friday nights are so big, and knowing you only have to split the rest of the weekend to win a series, and this is definitely one of the biggest series of the year so far.
This game was moved up 2 hours because of the weather in the forecast for later tonight. Wound up being a beautiful night for the bulk of this game. It was dreary, and certainly it was spitting a little bit of precipitation during pregame batting practice, but good call by the 2 teams and KU administration to move this thing up a bit. The 1-2 outside. Owens works a 2-2 count. They'll make a decision after the game on the plan for the rest of the weekend. Consulting the meteorologists and what the next 48 hours could look like. Ball downstairs, 3-2. Hung up between first and second, and out is Mungarietta. He thought it was going to get away further from Skinner, and he would know as a catcher, but it didn't roll that far, and Skinner was Johnny on the spot to scoop and fire and get the out to retire the side. Hawks by a single run as we go to the ninth. Ray has come on for the final 3 outs with the Jayhawks in search of a tie for first place in the Big 12 standings. They lead it 3-2, and this young man who started the series openers in the last 2 Big 12 weekends went back to his bullpen role on Tuesday, retired all 9 Huskers he faced over the final 3 innings. He was electric. Now back in this role, they like his mentality as a closer, and here's Coach Fitz describing that move back to Friday night relief.
His best use for us was probably throwing in relief Tuesday, and then probably a Swiss Army knife this weekend. So, you know, if we were to get through Game 1 and Game 2 and not have to use him, then there's a good chance he starts Game 3. There's also, you know, a chance that he throws in Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. So he's just super competitive. He loves the moment. He's really tough. He's platoon neutral. He can throw to righties and lefties, and he's just a great competitor.
He starts out with a fastball strike to Jacobs. Now the 0-1 is past Ray, but right to Baldridge, who will gather and fire and get the out of the 9-hole hitting second baseman, Austin Jacobs. So we've heard the narrative. We love him as a starter because he can set the tone for the weekend. He's so mentally tough. He's such a great competitor. But they realized, man, we also love him at the end of games. And those last 3 outs are the toughest to get. In Tuesday night's case, the last 9 outs. But where do you like him best, and what do you make of this move back to the end of games?
Well, he's already got 4 wins and 2 saves on the season, so he's had success in both roles. I love what Coach Fitz said. He could throw 1 game, he could throw 2 games, he could throw 3. But he's an ultimate competitor, big guy. He throws downhill, and he has that great changeup that can really neutralize left-handed hitters.
Back to the top of the order, and a pinch hitter for Gaston as we get a chance to tell you about Noah Rabin. 0-1 to Noah. California kid. Trying to provide a spark here with 1 gone in the 9th. Ball and a strike to the redshirt senior. Previously at Illinois State and Santa Rosa Junior College before that. You'll love his nickname. They call Rabin Beantown. Beautiful breaker there. 1-2 to Noah Rabin. Bodie Ray hunting his first strikeout. The defense shifts pull side, awaiting the 1-2. Swung on and missed. And Kansas 1 out away from a first place tie.
Here's that super changeup right there. Just a nasty pitch with some arm speed, and he gets the crowd fired up, really gets the dugout fired up. Just a team leader type guy, and I love his mentality out there. And you asked me when I like him to pitch is, yes, I like him to pitch all the time because he is coming straight downhill and really has some nice pitches, especially against left-handed bats.
About half the Kansas crowd getting to their feet, anticipating out number 27, but tough guy to go through to get it. Perfect games choice for National Hitter of the Week, Andrew Williamson, who's drawn 3 walks tonight. 1-0 counts to Williamson. Foul ball, 1-1. 1 more out for the Jayhawks, and you'll have a 2-way tie for first at 10-3 atop the Big 12 standings. A ball and a strike to Williamson. Just a bit downstairs, 2-1, much to the dismay of the Kansas faithful.
We got a power versus power matchup going right now, and 2 guys that can, one guy who can bring it, and Williamson, a guy who can leave the yard 1 swing of the bat.
He's their leader in home runs. Did he check his swing? He did. 3-1 now to a guy who's walked 3 times already today. Let's just try to keep hope alive for the Knights, trailing 3-2 in the 9th. His 9 homers are almost twice as many as the next Knight on the list. 3-1. Little nubber off the end of the bat, spinning and dropped by Schlotterbeck. It was cued and had all kinds of funky side spin on it the whole way. We'll look at the replay as it danced around down that third baseline, and Schlotterbeck, having to hurry, didn't quite secure it.
Just a cue shot right there, and that ball is still spinning in the glove so much right there. Just took his eye off it just for a split second, but good job just getting the ball put in play right off the nub of the bat right there. And that ball was a cue shot with a lot of English and actually just spun right out the glove.
And we'll see Brandon Scott, pitching coach, run out to the pitcher's mound as fast as I've seen him move to get out there and talk over the scouting report of the dangerous John Smith III. They've had Smith's number today, 0 for 4 for a guy who started the day hitting .393. But this is that dangerous portion of the UCF lineup where by Williamson keeping the door open with one swing, the Knights could be right back even with Kansas. Twice today, Smith has been robbed of an extra base hit and an RBI extra base hit at that. Good mound visit to go over the scouting report real quickly by the fourth-year Kansas pitching coach Brandon Scott.
I love that visit right there. Go after the hitter, but keep an eye on that man on first base and make sure everybody's trying to keep that runner out of scoring position at all costs.
Williamson 8 of 11 on the base pass this year. That man on first base, Andrew Williamson. 1-0 to John Smith III. Hitless today, but one of their best all season. That pitch just misses despite the frame attempts of Augusto Mungarieta. 2-0.
Jayhawks deepening up the outfield, moving their infielders a little bit, no double situation, trying to minimize a chance for a double or any kind of extra base hit.
Foul ball straight back. 2-1 to John Smith. There's a look at the defense Kevin described.
Slaughterback playing deep and right on the line there at third. Outfield playing deep, trying to cut off any balls hit into the gap, and big-time arm trying to close this game down.
Inside, 3-1. Smith has gone shopping at the gap twice today, but had his card declined both times. It was Brady Ballinger that tracked one down in the left center gap. It was Owens that tracked one down in right center. Both off the bat looked like they'd get down. This pitch stays down, and it's a walk of Smith. Now the tying run is in scoring position. And Zach Skinner, their team leader in multi-hit games, is about to dig in next. He's got another one of them today. 2 for 4 his line. If he could find a third hit, UCF could tie this game. Drama brewing in the ninth. A one-run affair against the top two teams in the Big 12 standings. Just the way you'd want it on a Big 12 Friday night. 1-0 to Skinner. There's a strike for Bodie Ray. Pounds the zone at 91 there. The count evens up.
Time fastball right down Broadway and over the top. Some nice action downward.
A flare to left. It's going to get down for a hit. They'll send Williamson home. There will be no throw. UCF has tied this game in the ninth. 3 straight Knights reach, and we're all square at 3 apiece.
Good piece of hitting right there. Weighted back on that breaking ball. Not a very good pitch to hit. Low and away. Once again, Skinner staying clutch and keeping that ball on the line. UCF getting pumped up right now. Some really clutch play here with 2 outs. And
boy, you go back to the finish in Lincoln. Nebraska couldn't scratch against Bodie Ray. 9 up, 9 down. And it was looking to shape up similarly tonight. He got 2 quick outs of Jacobs and the pinch hitter for Gaskin to start the inning. So they turned it over to Rabin. He was a strikeout victim. But single walk, single now has this game tied, and Moran can give UCF the lead. Did he check his swing? He did. He holds in time 1-0. Kansas fans that had been standing and clapping, sensing a 27th out, have sat back down in now a tie ball game. Just hoping to keep it tied and head to the bottom of the ninth in a tie game. Struck well, deep center field, but the park will house it. Coming back in to make the catch is Owens. And we will head to the bottom of the ninth, now in a tie ball game. The Knights showing some moxie and some grit, forge a 2-out rally to the bottom of the ninth we go. Couldn't have scripted it any better. Two teams separated by a single game for the class of the conference, all tied up as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Will it be another rock chalk walk-off, or will UCF, fresh off a game-tying 2-out hit for Skinner, come up with a winner in extras? We'll see. But a new pitcher in Evan Jones out of Normal, Illinois coming on next. He'll face off with Owens, Solis, and Dykoff. 6, 7, and 8 in the Kansas order. Try to force extras in the opener here in Lawrence.
Jones, another big-time arm coming out of the UCF pen. He's going to throw the ball downhill, big frame, and he's got a good competitive mentality out there. Great fastball, breaking ball, and changeup as well. So great challenge here for the Jayhawks. What a great college baseball game we've had so far. 3-3 going to the bottom of the ninth, and bottom of the order coming up is just what you want for the Jayhawks.
Tyson Owens to lead things off. Fitting that he's the guy, because in the series opener last week versus Utah, which was a Thursday, not a Friday because of the Easter weekend holiday, he hit the leadoff solo homer that sparked 4 homers in the bottom of the ninth. He gets twisted up on that one. Ball and a strike to Owens. Kansas trailed by 3 entering that bottom of the ninth. Any one big fly today would decide it with one swing. Again, tied up, and 2 strikes on the hitter, Owens. On base twice tonight, including a single in the 4th. He walked, stole a bag, and scored in the 6th. Down in this count, 1-2. Did he go? He did. And the tag applied for the strikeout. Out number 1 for Jones and the Knights. Ooh. Awfully close.
There's some nasty pitches coming in. 2,500 on the spin rate, 85 miles an hour on the hard breaking ball. Nasty pitches. I don't know if Owens went around right there. That's about as close as it gets, but he thought he held up.
Max Solis sees a first pitch strike. He also had a bottom of the ninth homer in the series opener last week. Part of a 2-home run weekend that gives him 3 on the year. Big cut and a whiff right there. 0-2 to the Kansas DH. He's raised his batting average some 20 points tonight with a 2-for-3 line, including an RBI double back in the 6th. And a big swing there, a liner hit to left, but right at John Smith. The old Adam ball hit right at him for a line out to left. 2 outs now in the 9th.
Great swing there by Max Solis. Got a little topspin on it, but just a rope right at the left fielder, and nice play sticking with it. Really like how Evan Jones has come into the game, throwing a lot of strikes and has some nasty stuff, especially that very hard breaking ball.
Now Josh Dykoff. 1 hit tonight. It was a double his first time up. The Minnesota Crookston transfer. Second straight year the Hawks have taken a veteran from a small college Minnesota team. Hauge, a big-time hero last year. Dykoff trying to be that guy in 2026. Cuts and whiffs to make it 1-1. He's had a nice year. 3rd on the team in homers with 6. He's driven in 25 runs. Ball downstairs, 2-1. If UCF is able to force extra innings, they would send up 6, 7, and 8 in the 10th. Dykoff wants to end it right here. Fastball strike at the knees. 2-2. Jayhawks have out-hit the Knights 8-7, but we're all square where it matters most. 3-3. Evan Jones staring down the barrel at a 27th out and extra innings. A foul ball will keep Dykoff alive.
Jones just filling up that strike zone with all 3 pitches, that hard cutter, slider type pitch, changeup, and his good fastball. And Dykoff up there battling, having a good at-bat. Ball sounds different coming off his bat and BP as well. He's got some big pop.
Smokes this one, but right at the first baseman, Moran, he hauls it in, and that will retire the side. We've got bonus baseball coming your way. Extra innings as the best 2 teams in the conference lock horns in Lawrence. The UCF Knights have forced extra innings. Bodie Ray out for a 2nd inning of work. The run he gave up last inning, an unearned run, as the squib shot down the 3rd base line by Williamson was scored, an error on Schlotterbeck. So blown save, but an unearned run is what got it there. Give UCF a ton of credit, though. They just needed any kind of base runner to keep hope alive. They followed that up with the walk of Smith and the big hit by Skinner, and because of that, we get extra baseball here in the 10th. And first pitch swing and a miss by Calise. Their 2nd third baseman of the day, up for a 2nd time tonight. He grounded to short back in the 8th inning. 7, 8, and 9 in the UCF lineup has been very potent. The 6th spot is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, with 3 different guys filling that spot on the lineup card. The 1-1. Swung on and missed, 1 and 2. Jayhawks have had 17 comeback wins this year. Hunting another walk-off today, but first Bodie Ray's got to hang a 0 here in the top of the 10th. Thought he had strike 3 there, but just misses outside. 2 and 2. Home crowd groaning. They wanted a called 3rd strike. Calise, a 130 hitter. Sees it go to 3 and 2. What they can ill afford to do is give a free pass to the 130 hitting 3rd baseman Calise, because Ross is an all-conference performer waiting behind him. Lifted in the air, should be a can of corn and right. Bach drifting over a couple of steps, makes the play for out number 1 in the 10th.
Big out there for the Jayhawks, and Bodie Ray competed, got back into the zone, and forced a good hitter to put that ball in play. And now Ross coming up, a guy who can lay one down for a hit, can hit a base hit, pretty much hit it to all parts of the ballpark, and love having no one on with the type of hitter coming up like Ross.
And a dangerous one if he gets on, because you give him first, he's going to try to take second one way or another. Owner of 11 stolen bags on the season, 11 of 13. First pitch, fastball, strike. Actually changed that time, right down the middle. 0-1 to Diamez Ross. Batting average is down about 70 points from a year ago, but still finding plenty of ways to deliver winning contributions. Skies this one toward right, giving chase out there is Bach. Looks up, runs, leaps. Did he make the grab? He did! Jordan Bach hauls it in. A sensational catch in right field for out number 2 in the 10th.
Great piece of hitting here by Ross. Really gets into it here to right field. Hits it sky high, and Jordan Bach finding the wall. Great effort right there, taking away an extra base hit. Not quite a Rob job of a home run, but a Rob job of a double. And here's that big smile. He loved it and took his eye off the ball for a second, found the wall, and then made that catch.
I'll be honest with you, from our vantage point, we can't see it. You have to go off the first base umpire. But a heck of a catch upon replay. And a great job by our ESPN camera crew for catching the catch before his body disappeared behind the indoor training facility. Lodi's up there next. Foul ball, 1-1. Well, if Kansas can get the 3rd out here and take a 3-3 tie to the bottom of the 10th, you'd have 9-1-2 due up. Schlotterback, Bach, and Baldridge. Breaking ball strike, 1-2. 1-2 to Jordan Lodi's. Bodie Ray trying to hang a 0 in the 10th and get his bats fired up for the Hawks' bottom of the 10th. He's such an emotional leader on this team. He's a spiritual leader on this team. He's a big vocal guy. In his first season, he has made an immediate impact in that clubhouse, in that dugout, and all over the field. If he gets the out here, watch his emotion. I promise you, he'll be lit. Just a bit outside. 3-2.
Even that changeup pops the mitt from Bodie Ray. It looks like a fastball coming in. He takes about 8 miles an hour off of it. That's just a great pitch, and everything he has is with full emotion and max effort.
The payoff pitch. Fouled off. Staying alive is the young freshman shortstop. So Kansas in the bottom of the 10th gets 9-1 and 2 up. If UCF can stay alive through that, they'd have the top of the order in the 11th, assuming they don't forge a major 2-out rally first right here. Bodie Ray with a payoff pitch. Skied to center field. Drifting back is Owens. He's got it. And a 0 hung by Bodie Ray in Kansas. We head to the bottom of the 10th. Jayhawks try to walk it off and move into a first place tie with UCF. Evan Jones out for a second inning of work. UCF trying to force an 11th inning. But they'll have to hang a 0 to do so with 9-1 and 2 due up for Kansas. A dangerous portion of the order. Starting with a guy in Dylan Schlotterback who a week ago in the series opener versus Utah had one of the 4 bottom of the 9th inning home runs. And when ESPN played it back on SportsCenter and chronicled all 4 long balls, they said Schlatter back, gone. New nickname was born. Now can he put real life behind that nickname a week later? He'd be swinging with a little extra intensity after it was a squib shot to third that he couldn't quite play cleanly that opened the door in the top of the 9th for UCF to force extras. He'd like to get that back right here. There's a called strike from Jones. 1-1. 330 hitter is Schlotterback. It's quite a weapon in your 9 spot. Swing and a miss. What do you like about Evan Jones?
He is just nasty. He comes up there ready to pitch. He's got one of the harder curveballs in the league. 86, 87 miles an hour on that breaking ball. Just falls off the table. He's a big-time competitor. He fills up the strike zone. And when he's working ahead, that breaking ball is just a dynamite strike 3 pitch.
There it is, and there he goes. Down goes Schlotterback. A big K for the Normal, Illinois native and Western Kentucky transfer, Evan Jones.
That's just unhittable right there. It looks good coming in, then falls off the table. Really good velocity on that pitch as well. That's just not a get-over curveball. That's a max effort, big-time spin rate. He has got it right now, and Jones is throwing a breaking ball as hard as some guys throw a fastball. He's just humming it in there, and UCF putting their best arms of the game in here late.
Jordan Bach with a terrific running, leaping catch in the top half of this 10th inning. Now can he dazzle just as much at the bat with a magical moment to end it? 0-1 to Bach as we go back to the top of the order. Quickly 0-2. He's had some amazing moments this season. Heck, he homered in his first at-bat of the season. Welcome to Jayhawk baseball, Jordan Bach. Tremendous clubhouse guy, another guy that just breathes energy into every room he walks into. Can he breathe new life into this Kansas chance in the bottom of the 10th? Fouls this one off. Still 0-2 to Bach.
Bach did a good job there. Went to a little bit post stride, shortened up that swing, and just did what he could to foul that tough, nasty pitch off and keep his at-bat alive. Good two-strike approach against a big-time power arm.
The 0-2. Line to left and on through for a hit. It's a one-out single for Jordan Bach, and the potential game-winning run is on base with Cade Baldridge coming up next.
Great job of B-hacking there with 2 strikes, short with that front foot, short and quick to the ball, and what a great at-bat. Got down 0-2, fought a tough pitch off and got something out over the plate. 94 right on the outside corner, and Bach took it that way. Looked to be aggressive with him over there at first because has some great speed and try to get into scoring position here for the Jayhawks with 1 out.
Jayhawks saw Tyson Owens steal a bag on Zach Skinner earlier. That was back in the 6th inning. Cade Baldridge digging in next. And first time is going to be called here. Dan Fitzgerald will huddle up the troops. That's LeBlanc standing to his left. He's in the on-deck circle. It'll be Baldridge at the bat. Bach, who's 5 for 5 in stolen bases this year at first. I like what you said about being aggressive with him at first.
Big time moment right here. I love this offensive meeting to get everybody on the same page, know what's going on, and get a good pitcher who's really been in a zone up there working fast, a little bit out of his rhythm. See if they can do something to rattle what his got some great composure up there. And love the guy coming up to bat, and Cade Baldridge, just the ultimate gamer. He can lay a bunt down, he can drive it to all parts of the park, and I like that meeting because there's so many options with either sending a base runner, playing a little small ball, or letting the guys play and utilize the hole on that right side of the field.
Check on the runner Bach, and he's back with a dive. Jayhawks' current win streak is 7 games. They currently have 5 walk-off wins this year, and 17 come from behind victories. Fastball strike at 93. 0-1 to Cade Baldridge. Kansas trying to run that winning streak to 8 and pull even with the Knights for first place in the Big 12 standings. The rest of the conference tuned in tonight watching this one. I heard from our good buddy Tony Caridi, the voice of the Mountaineers. He said, we'll be watching, hoping for some help. Mountaineers would like a UCF loss. Gonna check on the runner. Back with a dive is Bach.
And if Bach does go, he'd love to go on a breaking ball. If he could choose a pitch to go on, definitely be a curveball. And I think Jones really keeping an eye on him, knowing he wants to go to that breaking ball and trying to keep the runner close.
He doesn't run. Swinging and missing is Baldridge. And it's quickly 0-2 to the Kansas second baseman, who's hitless today after seeing his 7-game hitting streak snapped back on Tuesday. It's been a quiet week for the 2- and 3-hole hitters for Kansas, Baldridge and LeBlanc. But a quiet week could turn loud in a hurry with one big swing in the bottom of the 10th. Not that swing. Down he goes, tied up and twisted. The hard breaker fans him for out number 2.
Those are 3 nasty pitches, 94, 94, and then 87 with a nasty slider, down back foot slider. Jones came up with the best pitch of the game right there. Just a nasty spot there with 2 strikes.
Last week, he had 2 game-winning homers. Doesn't need a homer today, just needs something to advance Bach. But Tyson LeBlanc has been a huge catalyst for Kansas all year, especially in the last 3 weeks. Crowd getting on Evan Jones for being so mindful of Bach, but you can understand why he would. Bach really wants second base, and he's plenty capable in getting there. Big swing and a miss on a fastball. 94 on that heater. 0-1 to LeBlanc. The most recent of KU's 5 walk-offs was delivered by this man on a 2-run homer. Ball outside, 1-1.
I saw a bunch of scouts here before the game, and they were watching everybody closely, but this is one guy they'd taken videos of and watching extremely closely. After his last couple of weeks, he's opened up some eyes, and not only here in the Big 12, but even on the next level.
Foul ball straight back on a breaking ball. 2 strikes on the hitter. Both of these bullpens have been outstanding. Such a well-pitched game throughout. In a season of a lot of 10-9 type games all around college baseball, this one has been special here tonight with the pitching and, for the most part, with the defense. A couple of exceptions. The 1-2. Fouled straight back. Hawks worked around 2 first-inning errors to only give up a single run. It's the only time they've trailed. They took the lead in the bottom of the 3rd with a 2-run rally. Saw it tied in the top of the 6th, led after the bottom of the 6th. UCF forced extras with an unearned run in the 9th. Here we sit in the bottom of the 10th as they throw over again at Bach. With Kansas searching for that big swing to deliver a walk-off extra inning victory and a first-place tie. Fisted within the infield, sprinting in is the pitcher, and Jones has got it. And we're headed to the 11th as he gets a huge out of the National Hitter of the Week, Tyson LeBlanc. On to the 11th we go, Kansas and UCF. Three-three tie as we head to the 11th inning here in Lawrence. Big 12 baseball and free baseball, fun for all ages when you get some extra innings. And some of these folks probably showed up at 6 o'clock thinking that's when the game was going to start. We've been going since 4 o'clock today. But here we sit 3.5 hours deep, getting set for an 11th inning. Fitting when you got 2 teams this good, separated by a single game, and it's been a nail-biting back-and-forth battle throughout here today. Bodie Ray out for a 3rd inning of work. Will face off against 9-1-2, starting with the redshirt freshman, Austin Jacobs. The 0-1 to Jacobs. Rope to left. Will it stay fair? No. Hook's just foul. Big swing right there for a talented young Clemson transfer. Who had an RBI single in the 6th, 1 for 4 tonight is Jacobs. He thought he had extra bases off the bat.
He went line dancing, but didn't quite come through right there. But that was just hooked at the last second. Looked like a double off the bat, but just ended up being a long strike. And big out here, bottom half of the order for Bodie Ray to go after and try to get ahead in this count.
The 0-2. Swung on, and he gets it. Blows it by him at 94. A strikeout of Jacobs.
You're seeing some heat, some power pitching here late in this game from both squads. Great pitch by Bodie Ray, getting that ball up above the belt and just hitting that mitt right on the outside corner, 94 miles an hour. Outstanding pitch with 2 strikes.
Start hanging up some more Ks. Kansas pitching tonight, 7 strikeouts, 4 by the starter, Nayrall. 1 by Ritter in 3 1/3. Now 2 for Bodie Ray. Rabin up there next. This is the top of the order. Rabin came on as a pinch hitter in the 9th and promptly struck out. For the second out of the inning, it looked like Ray would slam the door and get a 3rd save. But an error opened the door. There's a soft fly ball toward left. Ballinger's got it. Coasting in for the catch. 2 quick outs in the 11th by UCF.
Now batting for UCF, right fielder.
This is just the way you want to face Williamson. Nobody on and 2 outs in the inning.
Exactly right. He can hurt you with 1 swing of the bat and can definitely drive runs in. Nice play by Ballinger out there, and great job by Bodie Ray coming in and came in like a closer, but he is extending this outing and looking stronger and stronger as he goes.
This one comes in tight to Williamson, who reached on an error at 3rd base on a little cue shot that was going to be a tough play regardless, but it had so much funky spin, Schlotterbeck couldn't look it all the way into the glove and squeeze it. And thus it was an unearned run that tied this game in the 9th. 2-0 here to the one guy that above all others could change the game with 1 swing. They don't have quite the pop that Kansas has. Jayhawks with 55 homers to start the weekend, UCF with 23, but Williamson, he's got 9. It's a breaking ball, strike 2 and 1. He had 3 in the West Virginia series last weekend. Hits it high, hits it deep down the line right field, but it's hooking foul and is indeed a long strike 2. The lights are on here at Hoagland Ballpark. It's still kind of dark as the game moves into the evening hours that first began back at 4 o'clock. We're in the 11th inning. A 2-2 to Williamson. Called strike 3, he gets him. 2 more Ks in the inning for Bodie Ray and a 0 hung for the Kansas closer. The Hawks are fired up. Now can the bats heat up and walk it off when we come back? 3-3 our score as we come back to the bottom of the 11th, and a new pitcher coming on for UCF. They'll turn it over to a freshman, and a really talented one at that. Max Murray out of Winter Springs, Florida. Murray with a sparkling 2.35 ERA. He's 3-1 in 9 appearances. Opponent's bat just 196 against him.
Big spot here for the freshman to come in. He's got some really good electric stuff. Can really get that strikeout when needed. And he's got a nice arm for a freshman. Gonna go against the meat of this Jayhawk order. And we're really happy to see Evan Jones come out, who was just nasty in his outing. Both bullpens have been as advertised. Just great stuff coming out of both these bullpens.
Now the All-American digging in against the freshman. And I don't know, there's just something about Brady Ballinger in the latter innings. He feels due for a Brady bomb. Ball at the feet on the first offering to Ballinger, who was on base 4 of 5 times on Tuesday in Lincoln. And a Jayhawk upset of number 19, Nebraska. He's been hitless here tonight, 0 for 4. But he could erase the taste of that with one big swing, and this one rope to right is foul. Just a little bit out in front was Ballinger. When you're a second-team All-American last year and you get the preseason All-American pressure this year, to back it up in the season, you need some signature moments. I'd say something right about now could fit the category of a signature moment as Kansas tries to pull into a first-place tie with UCF. Tries to deliver a 6th walk-off of the year. The 1-1. Outside 2-1. Ballinger with a couple of strikeouts today. He's flied to left and grounded to second. Looking for something he can drive right here. Crowd chanting balls. The pitch is hit foul on a breaking ball. They're not baiting Murray into throwing outside the zone. They're yelling his nickname, Brady Balls. And he is a fan favorite in that student section, I promise you. Now can he deliver for those Jayhawk faithful down the third base line? The 2-2. Ball downstairs. Part of his All-American campaign as a sophomore was the frequency with which he got on base, and he's done it again this year. 29 walks on the season, second best on the team. When he's at his best, he rarely expands the zone. He makes the pitcher come to him. This one hit foul. Still 3-2. Forcing the young freshman to work and giving his teammates behind him a chance to see plenty of Murray.
Just a great leadoff competitive at-bat right here. Ballinger, Ball's already knocked a couple of good foul balls, keeping his at-bat alive, and he can hit a homer, he can draw a walk, but also big-time doubles threat.
The 3-2. Ball 4, he walked him. And Brady Ballinger sets the table with a leadoff walk, and he is fired up.
Ballinger fired up, the crowd's fired up, and this Jayhawk team just looking to get something going. A little spark of life here with that leadoff walk, and love their chances here in the middle of this order with guys coming up who can all drive the ball and give you a competitive at-bat.
Augie's got a multi-hit game already with a pair of singles in the 4th and the 8th. Fitz will huddle up his guys again and talk shop here as the Jayhawks try to walk it off here in the bottom of the 11th inning. This is the first of 3 games this weekend. We'll have them all for you right here on ESPN+. Game 2 for the moment is scheduled for 2 o'clock on Saturday. Game 3, high noon on Sunday. There is some troublesome weather in the forecast, and so who knows what it could look like as we get into the weekend. But if there is any potential doubleheader talk on the horizon, that makes claiming the opener so important. And both these teams taxing their most premium bullpen arms today as they both push their chips to the center of the table, going all in for the Friday opener. Strategy has been discussed. Mungarieta digging in. Game-winning run at first, and Augie shows bunt. They creep in at the third base corner. The pitch misses down and away, 1-0.
Like this idea from the Jayhawks and Coach Fitz. A perfect bunt would be right down that first baseline here in this situation to ensure a base runner moving up. Third baseman will be charging hard, and down that first baseline would be premier bunt.
Comes in downstairs. 2-0 to Mungarieta. Jayhawks lost a 3-2 lead in the top of the ninth. We've seen nothing but zeros hung ever since. But now a chance to break on through in the bottom of the 11th. We're going to get a mound visit for UCF. Pitching coach Drew Thomas out for a word with the freshman Max Murray. A 3-3 tie with first place on the line. If UCF wins, they've got a 2-game lead. If Kansas wins, it's a 2-way tie, with West Virginia nipping at the heels. Such a competitive league. There's going to be plenty of twists and turns over the next 5 weeks after this one. This series in early April of massive importance for both these teams' Big 12 title hopes. 2-0 to Augie, not showing bunt. The pitch hit foul. 2-1.
Love that approach. You get into a hitter's count, take a nice big hack at it, and wouldn't be surprised to see that bunt be put back on here with 1 strike, or just let Augie swing the bat. He has been totally clutch late in ball games, leaving the park to opposite field.
Mungarieta trying to be the hero here in the 11th. He skies it. Foul ground behind home plate. This should reach the seats. And it does. For a second strike on Mungarieta. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Man at first and nobody out.
There's some happy fans there. They waited this long ball game out, extra innings, got a foul ball, and couldn't be more pumped up about it. It's been a fun game to watch.
Bonus baseball and a souvenir. Now they just got to see the home team win, and everybody goes home happy. Well, almost everybody. 2-2. Outside, 3-2. Now Murray's got to come home with it somewhere in the zone, or the potential game-winning run will be in scoring position on back-to-back walks. Augie knows he's likely to get something to hit. Can Mungarieta deliver a major moment? He's hit. It's a hit by pitch. You hope he's okay as he doubles over in pain right now. But Ballinger goes into second as Augie tries to shake it off. Boy, on the same day he gets hit in the throat, he has to wear this one. Jeff Roberts out to assess the damage.
That's one of the most tender places to get hit. That's inside of the arm. That's not on the outside where you're used to getting hit. That's on the inside. That's just really tender and sore right there. It's going to be a dead arm for a while. He's a tough ball player. He's already dealt with a lot this game just to be in it right now. And that's it's not really how hard you get hit, it's where you get hit. And that's a really tough place with a lot of nerves, not used to getting hit in a spot like that.
KU's athletic trainer in his second season, Jeff Roberts, out there to diagnose with John Coyne and Coach Fitzgerald looking on. Meanwhile, what's Murray thinking right now? A free pass followed by a plunk. And the game-winning runs in scoring position with nobody out. And Mungarieta may be coming out. Or is he just coming over to talk? No way you're going to take me out of this game, he says. You'd have to amputate before I come off, and I'd still be running. He's going to stay in. He's just going to talk with his coach. What do you do here? Do you try to drop one down and get the guy to third with less than 2 outs?
I like this meeting because at least it puts in the mind the possibility of doing that. But I think if you do, going down that third baseline would be key. Getting one down the third baseline, making sure the third baseman fields that ball, nobody to cover third, and moving those runners up. But I do think after a couple walks, definitely try to show bunt, maybe even fake bunt where you take a pitch or two. Augie's staying in there. That's a tough guy right there. He's dugout's getting fired up. I felt this at the Nebraska game. You could feel when that dugout gets going and puts a little energy into the team. He's had a wild game so far today, but looking to keep it going. And you got a hot hitter up there, but if you do lay one down that third baseline is your perfect placement for a bunt.
Tyson Owens shows bunt, pulls it back, and it misses for ball 1. Evan Jones was rolling right along, but he gone 2 innings of scoreless relief with 3 Ks on 29 pitches. They went to the talented freshman, and he's yet to get an out. That one's in for a strike, though. 1-1.
Good pitch there by Murray. Tough one to bunt. Hard on the inside corner with a little bit of movement. Really tough pitch to bunt right there, and probably a good take by Owens.
Ballinger at the bottom of your screen represents the winning run. This one nearly hits him. 2-1. Owens willing to give himself up to get Brady Balls 90 feet away. But if Murray keeps missing, he could get there for free. 2-1. Bunt drop down. It's perfect. The only play is to first. Out recorded, but sacrifice successful. Tyson Owens moves Ballinger 90 feet away, and the Jayhawks so close they can taste it.
That's something the Jayhawks work extremely hard on during batting practice, getting those bunts down, and what great execution right there. Couldn't have had a better bunt. That was almost a bunt for base hit, how good it was. That was a great job getting that bat at angle down the third baseline. Great execution, and he's going to get picked up by his dugout for some big time getting it done in a big situation.
Max Solis Jr. digs in with the crowd on its feet here in Lawrence. Takes a home run rip, but cuts and whiffs for strike 1. Again, in the series opener last night, or rather last week, he had a bottom of the 9th inning homer. What can he deliver in this series opener? 1-1, the count to the Kansas DH. Already 2 hits tonight, including an RBI double in the 6th.
Here's a spot where Coach Fitz talked about he really been working with Solis on keeping the ball in the middle of the field, staying away from the corners, and driving, using that middle pie of the field.
The 1-1, smash to left, it's gonna get down, and Kansas will win. A 6th Rock Chalk walk-off this season, and we've got a first-place tie in the Big 12. Max Solis delivers. Kansas walks it off, and Fitz magic strikes again.
Max Solis Jr., have yourself a night. 3 hits on the day, none bigger than this. Got a hanging breaking ball out over the plate. Everybody in the park knew it, chopping at the gap. What a great game. Balls got home to score. Led the team in scoring runs last year. And look at this Jayhawks dugout, fired up on a Friday night, taking down the number 12 team in the country. What an outstanding job of team, defense, hitting, but especially pitching. Came in late and got the job done. And for the senior Max Solis, what a great moment.
The win streak goes to 8. It's an 18th comeback win for Kansas. A 6th walk-off win for Kansas. And mark it down on April the 10th. We've got a first-place tie, UCF and Kansas. And these Jayhawks feel like a team of destiny. They love each other. They love their head coach. And ever since mid-March, they've been cooking with gas on a whole different level. Winners of 14 of their last 16 games.
What an outstanding run for the Jayhawks, and they are really cooking right now. 8 straight wins, and in the Big 12 just been on fire with the way they've been swinging the bat. Couple of low-scoring ball games, one in the midweek to take down a top 20 team. Now over the weekend on a Friday night, 4-3 ball game. What a college baseball game. That could have gone 10 different ways, but it went the way the Jayhawks. They really fought hard and put a great start to this weekend.
A tremendous start indeed. Max Solis, a 3-hit ball game and the walk-off winner. What a way to start what should be a memorable weekend at Hoagland Ballpark. Keep your eyes and ears on the social media accounts of both these teams, UCF and Kansas, as there may be some tweaks to the weekend schedule with weather in the forecast, but certainly Kansas right now, they're loving life whether it rains or not. It feels like sunny and 70 when you've gone 14-2 since mid-March, when you've won 8 in a row, and you rock chalk walk it off for a 6th time this year. 2 teams now tied atop the league. We will see you tomorrow right here on ESPN Plus for Game 2. For Kevin Wheeler, Tim Cornell, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Brian Haney signing off from Lawrence. Big 12 baseball on ESPN Plus.